Welcome, everybody, to the Get Bit Podcast, the podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, you are most certainly welcome here. We are your hosts, the most, Black Spartan, Show Guy Joe, Tafari TV. Fellas, it is officially the weekend. How we feeling?
Yeah, we have survived Friday the 13th.
And how?
So far.
What are you talking about? We're going to get killed.
Of course, I walked right into that one.
Way to be positive, Joe. Way to be positive.
Look, this is my second to last day of my birthday vacation. That's an appropriate thing.
Yeah, fair enough. Cheers to another year of life.
Right.
Yes, 42. Meaning,
Definitely
just like Krillin, it's all downhill from here.
Happy belated birthday, Joe. Just all downhill from here. Oh, Christ. With that being said, as you can see, guys, we are leveled up, which means that we do try to watch our language, but words do fly. At the same time, we do show video and movie game trailers on this show, so viewer discretion is advised for younger viewers. Aside from that, welcome. Beyond that, guys, there is, well, it's like I said, it's Friday 13th. Everything's backwards and whatnot. With that being said, we do have a couple of trailers and news to get to. We first got to go ahead and first start and, well, Alien Earth. I want to say one thing, and before we get to that, I know Killer of Killers has been out for a while, and I know for me, I missed it. Tafari, you've seen it. Joe, you've seen it before we get to the Alien Earth trailer from FX. What did y'all guys think of Killer of Killers?
I very much like this direction we're going in as a franchise with Alien and Predator stuff. Doing a good job of connecting things. Putting us on the technology that I didn't know that the Utah? The
Yautja?
Yeah, the Yautja. I didn't know that they had. Finding a way to actually connect the Prey movie into it.
That kind of bummed me out.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of bummed they redid the flintlock pistol, but I'm hoping that we can still get that story. But they've done enough to make me want to trust them with whatever they do next. I would have liked these to be long, like individual 45-minute to an hour episodes.
Yeah.
Because going across the time periods, them having their own version of inhibitor collars from the DC world.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say this was possibly just one tribe of the Yautja that's more of a civilization. I think Badlands will expand on what we saw planetary side.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you that I think this is a different tribe because this kind of retcons the end of Prey. Because in the ending credits, spoiler for a movie that's been out for 5 years, we see the Predator clan come down and reward the main girl's tribe with weaponry. And in this one, we see that she's in cryo freeze.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of they either retcon the ending or this is a different tribe of Yautja that's like going around collecting people that are deemed worthy to hunt for their own sport.
Okay, if you were to tell me, let me see.
So just to ask this question, so in Killer of Killers, there's more than one predator that they're following, or is it just feels like that?
There's more than one predator. So there's like a berserker predator, a ninja predator, and a fighter jet predator.
A ninja predator?
Yeah, so they basically have looked at different cultures for a long time, and the predators who take the interest in whatever kind of combat they do the most, that's who goes down there. So the ninja predator, he moves around, jumping on rooftops, all kinds of sword technology and whatnot.
Shuriken.
Shurikens, dagger, like long spear type, like range fighting stuff. The Berserker Predator, very much a hands-on combat type of guy when it comes to fighting the Vikings. And then for, the World War II Predator, very much just likes to fight in the sky.
I have got to go back and watch this. Dang.
This is actually what you wanted because these are different takes on different predators. This is not Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. That's exactly what you're 100% right. You're exactly that because I know on this show I have I have aired some grievances about Predator and that they kept rehashing the storyline, but that sounds way different.
They do a good job of explaining how they're keeping track of these people across these time periods for so long, to the point where it's like, hey, what range in the movie like Predators? What kind of range of people could you possibly get on one planet for a great hunt? And what backgrounds could they all have simultaneously? And they do a good job of kind of doing that. But yes, so to your point, Joe, if they were to tell me that this was like, if this is the tribe that is attacking our main character's tribe in Badlands, I would not be shocked. Like if you told me every tribe we've met has been traditional, here's your weapons, you bested ours, you beat him on his own hunt, and these people have just been coming behind them and like snaking everything, I would not be surprised if that's how Badlands starts off, because it already looks like we're getting like an internal conflict when that movie begins.
Nice. I had to go back and go watch that.
The one that will probably annoy you the most will be the Ninja Predator, because that is the most predator.
But it's a ninja. It's not a predator. Let me stop you there. Is it a ninja predator in the traditional sense of being predator, or the fact they are actually doing ninja tendencies or tactics?
I mean, he is using like throwing spears. He's not using like the grip net. He's using like the bomb shuriken, the bomb darts. He's got a it's actually more of a Japanese spear than anything, because the main blade separates out into a tri-pronged spear.
Oh.
And he uses cloaking a lot, and he uses his like arm claw.
Well, that's still ninjas. That's still stealth killing. So yeah, so it's ninja-esque. I can live with that. Yeah. That's not that's what I'm saying. It's not the traditional shoulder cannon and just aiming.
Oh no, he doesn't have shoulder cannon.
Okay.
Like they keep having the dots appear, but it's only for visual scanning, not actual like shoulder cannon target. We don't get that kind of a predator. The Viking predator to me is the most impressive, because he's a actual berserker handicapped predator.
So he just straight up just won.
That was my only thing, was the handicap. I'm like, all right, I get it. That's a little OP though. Like, how does that even work? Sonic
cannon. He just like cranks back and just lets go. So it's like a giant. He can like do a shockwave punch.
Oh, nice.
He's got like a sonic spring on it, on a fist with like a crank on it. And I'm like, okay, but I'm like, is this because you're handicapped, or do you all have this and just willingly choose not to use it?
He's handicapped. I legit think it's because
he's just up close. So he's really up close and personal then.
It's like fair and unfair at the same time when he fights.
I am so one. Y'all gonna make me want to watch this after the show's over, because now
it's definitely worth multiple watches. And a Blu-ray pickup should they choose to do so.
Cool. Well, thank y'all for that. But now I guess I just gotta see this Berserker Predator, this Ninja Predator. That's gonna stick out to me. Anyway, that being said, thank y'all guys for that. If you have seen Killer of Killers, let us know what you also thought in the comments. But Alien Earth, again, Predator just seems to have a lot of avenues coming out. This one is actually coming on FX. Me, Tafari, and Joe have all talked about it and have sat there and said that we're definitely going to be watching it. And again, as we get closer to its first episode, FX drops us this latest trailer. Let me also say this again. This is Alien, which means you're going to see a lot of gory stuff. Even though it's FX, even though it's on cable television, you've been warned.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
How's our girl?
She's ready.
You're going to be the first person to transition from a human body to a synthetic.
Because I'm special.
That's right. You're very, very special.
Spacecraft.
I want what's on that ship.
We can do it. We're fast. We're strong. We don't break.
It's like a zoo, but the animals got out.
This ship collected 5 different life forms from the darkest corners of the universe. Monsters.
Invasive species. Predatory.
If we don't lock them down, it will be too late.
All right, and that was the trailer for Alien Earth, guys. As you can see, will be on Hulu FX August 12th. Fellas, is there anything more that we really need to say about this outside the fact that it looks like it's a different storytelling of, well, Wayland being Wayland, but we're actually seeing an actual xenomorph invasion on Earth.
Well, we've seen
Xenomorph. I would say, yeah, I think Xenomorph plus some, and I guess we're following the story of 5 synthetics.
Yeah.
So have synthetics always been people?
See that?
They've been people-esque. It just depends on the company. Like, I know Wayland Yutani does, personally, they do very human-looking like ones. The other company that's in Alien Isolation, they have working Joes, which are only human-esque.
Yeah. But I do like, it's a different story, though. That's why I'm getting into. And the whole thing, like I said, I've never seen it told. It's almost like if you watch FX and you remember The Strain, again, a great series. A great series. If you have never watched The Strain, highly recommended. I'm getting that vibe from it where, you know, if you haven't seen The Strain, just spoiler alert, it's basically about vampires taking over Earth. And literally, it's an entire society basically based on that. But again, highly recommend if you ain't seen it. Alien Earth kind of gives me that same vibe, which tells me that they're gonna run with this with the synthetics. The whole thing, like Tafara said, what are these 5 beings? We know one of them is a xenomorph. We don't know what the other 4 could possibly be. Money on one of them is definitely gonna be a queen, either a queen or a bull alien, one of the two. But there's nothing more that can be said about this outside of just waiting to see it August the 12th. But guys, anything else you want to add to it?
Yeah, so I'm curious how this works with synthetic people being transferred into synthetics now.
That's new.
That's what I was talking about. I'm like, have synthetics always been just people that got avatared into another body?
Because the way they made that sound, that was a brand new thing to the point to where it was like, you know, you're going to be the first, you know, when they say you're going to be the first person to transfer your consciousness to a synthetic body, I'm like, oh, so either old girl's dying or she's a special project.
Well, she very much looked like a cancer patient. So, all right, I'm curious if they're going to follow that up in the Badlands movie with the synthetic that went through whatever the hell it went through. I'm also curious to what the 5 species are, and if it's going to be like Jurassic Park, where they just become a part of the ecosystem, or if they actually find a way to contain these things.
That'll be interesting because that kind of tells us. I mean, like you said, if it ties into Badlands, that's saying something else because that is kind of setting up for a universal story. Either way, I'm all for it, but that's a good question, though. That really is a good question. But either way, still watching that when it comes out on FX. But Joe, anything else?
No, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm wondering if they're going to drag in Colonial Marines too, because it looked like we had some Colonial Marines, or they could just be the synthetics being heavily armed.
I feel like we're going to see the synthetics try to keep people alive and fail miserably so that you get the carnage, but you can still keep your main characters without killing off the whole cast.
It makes me want to play
Alien species that's not a xenomorph is going to get face hugged.
That's gonna be interesting. But at the same
That-
time, oh,
That could also be an interesting thing. Like that could be the plot twist. Is like the 4 other creatures are like, you assholes, we were running from that thing and you locked us in a room together. You dicks.
Is it bad? The first thing I thought of was a gorilla. Is it bad that I just see an alien, a face hugger, go for a gorilla in the zoo, and then we have the most messed up hybrid on Earth?
Dude, that could be the season finale, just a series of hybrids being born all over the world.
I mean, I thought about it. I mean, a face hugger and a snake, that's just the thing of nightmares. But
I think, would it even be able to get a snake? I feel like snakes do not have the right build to get grabbed by a face hugger. I feel like they can only pinch so
They
much.
can adapt.
But think about it. A mutated cobra that's a xenomorph?
Yeah, so in the comic, when facehuggers go up against something that they're not adapted for, they will try to adapt. Or in the case of one scenario, they were fighting something that was almost a natural predator to xenomorphs. It was like a giant ice rhino, like a colossal ice rhino. And like a whole bunch of facehuggers just jumped into its mouth, and that's how it like got there.
Also, let's not forget birds that can fly, like falcons, eagles, hawks. That facehuggers can grab. You thought a fast-moving land-based xenomorph was good and terrible. Do we want to see one that can fly? That's the stuff of nightmares, honestly. But
I can see we get a birth at the end credits. We get a birth of like hybrids all over the planet from different animals. And start of season 2, Waylon's got them locked in like a xenomorph zoo.
I'm just saying. I talk about the stuff of nightmares, boy. That would be like, yeah, I would probably have to not sleep for a while after that. But either way, August 12th should be interesting. But speaking of interesting, Superman. We just gotta get this out the way because tickets for the first viewings are already sold out in most areas. For July, I want to see Superman, just not that bad, not knocking those that did get their tickets early. If that was you, then cool. I'm not gonna knock you for that. But as July 11th it gets ever so closer, James Gunn decided to give us another trailer from Superman. And this one, you actually hear Lex Luger talking. So,
Luthor.
Sorry?
Luthor. You keep saying Lex Luger. I'm expecting the bus to pull up and Superman to be put into a torture rack.
Thank you for catching that, because I was like, I thought about that.
Deal with poor Miss Elizabeth.
I did say Lex Luger. Oh, my bad. That being said, guys, here's the latest trailer for Superman.
Superman.
The most powerful being on planet Earth.
We finally meet.
Now, as planned, I'll destroy you. And of course, that reporter you always do interviews with. Who raised you as a child? I'll kill them too.
No matter what you do to me, Luthor, your plans won't work.
Wrap it up.
Good luck with that.
Make a move, Big Blue.
Buckle up.
They chose him. Let them die.
Hey! Quit Quit messing around.
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
All right, and that, guys, was the trailer for Superman, the latest one. As we get again ever so closer to July 11th, that was, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, the first time we actually heard Luthor's character actually speak. I'm sold on this movie for so many freaking reasons, and I can't see anything wrong with it. I will say to Joe's credit, I think Henry Cavill might wind up being Ultraman. I think that might be the piece de resistance.
I'm surprised that is like the biggest mystery everyone is trying to solve and break down. I'm like, we've barely seen this character, but everyone is so obsessed with it.
Because we think, look, the moment Joe mentioned this several podcasts ago about, you know, what would be such a detriment because Henry Cavill, for everything that he, you know, went through before pre-gun DC, I mean, Man of Steel, halfway decent movie. I mean, we can have our qualms about Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice. We can have our qualms about Justice League and the Snyder Cut. Henry Cavill played a good Superman. Was he given a fair shake? Obviously not. Would it be a wonderful apology to see him as Ultraman fighting Superman? I'll be honest, yes.
He was a wonderful Superman. Did they give him a good Superman movie? Not even once.
No, absolutely not. But to see him back as Ultraman, just to sit there and say that he was a part of it, I'll be all for it. But I don't think there's anything more we can add to this that we haven't already said. This looks like it's going to be great from beginning to end. The casting is great. Mr. Terrific is there. Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, bowl cut and all.
Yeah, the middle finger lantern grip flipping over tanks is just peak Guy Gardner attitude.
Yes.
They very much do it. They're doing a good job of introducing us to multiple characters. Everybody doesn't need a backstory, but we very much know who these people are up front. Even him clowning around mid-fight with Mr. Terrific. And then that was the James Gunn effect of the teeth breaking the fourth wall and bouncing off the camera.
Yeah, that was a good one.
The laser spin, that feels like out of Injustice. I feel like I've seen that somewhere.
Yeah, it was Injustice, and then it was the Super NES Superman game that you can actually spin and do a 360. That's why I was like, they did pay homage to that, which I was like, oh, so someone did play a Superman game with Super NES. But I mean, altogether, it just looks great. I am looking forward to actually seeing this in the theaters. But like they said, if you got a hold of Prime, if you were a Prime member, I think they had something to where you can get tickets early. I know for right now, a lot of tickets are sold out in a lot of places for the opening weekend. I will say this. If you can see it on the weekend, great. If not, there's still time. I know people like to spoil stuff. Just also, and let me also say this before we move on to IronHeart. As these movies are coming out, guys, it's the summer. People are going back to movie theaters. Don't spoil stuff, okay? I mean, if you know people are going to go see it, wait the appropriate amount of time with your friends, or at least ask. I know me, Tafari, and Joe in all of our chats, we always ask the same question: has everybody seen it? And if everybody hasn't seen it, we keep it to ourselves. But again, let's not spoil it. This is actually a movie season that's actually worth going back to the theaters for. So again, be nice. Don't be a dick. But Ironheart, Marvel finally deciding to do promotion, because if they weren't going to do it, we were going to do it. We being the blurred nerd community. That being said, we did actually get another clip for Ironheart, which actually does show a little bit more of Riri and the Hood. Fellas, have we seen the clip for that yet?
I'm not sure. This might have been the one I've seen. I'm not 100% yet.
Joe?
I think I've seen it. Is this the one where like one of her girlfriends is the built-in AI at the end?
Yeah. Well, it's the latest one. It's the latest one. But for all those who haven't seen it, here's the trailer.
My stepdad You should say the best way to know a thing is to take it apart, put it back together. Then you can see what it's really made of.
You should take your dad's advice. Break yourself down. See what you're made of.
Here goes nothing. If I'm gonna protect people, I gotta start thinking outside the box.
Out of all the things you could have built, with that big brain of yours, why this?
Because I have to.
Might be a hero in there after all.
Riri, time to wake up, love. What are you? Your greatest creation yet. Who the hell else would it be, bitch?
And I'm not mad about that. That, guys, was the latest trailer for Marvel Television's IronHeart. As you can see, guys, will be streaming June 24th. So we are not too far off from that. Of course, they are only getting 6 episodes, which, let's be honest, Marvel/Disney is being very conservative unless you're a Daredevil. And even Daredevil Born Again only gave us 9 episodes the first season, and we're getting the other 9 in the second season. But we did get a better picture of Riri. We did actually see the AI that may possibly be her in the suit, her AI in the suit. And, of course, Mr. Ramos himself, fresh off the Hamilton reunion, will be Don the Hood. So, fellas, what are we thinking as far as this? I mean, we're already set to where we're going to be probably watching Ironheart, but does this make you have any more questions, or is it pretty much like we just need to wait and just actually watch it when it comes out June 24th?
I'm curious to see how she merges the dark magic into her suit, which is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Between the AI and her stepdad, I'm like, are we just going to start the show with multiple drive-bys, or?
I mean, they went straight for the jugular on that one, didn't they? That was along the lines of, hey, my dad, and then backstory. Like, dang.
Yeah, because I know her best friend becomes her AI after she gets killed in like a shooting or something. But I'm like, damn, does your dad and your bestie get like shot at the same time, or what's the story here?
Yeah, that's definitely saying a lot. But yeah, with the Hood, I'm kind of curious to see what they do with his backstory. But yeah, 6 episodes is not a lot unless she is, well, technically she might be tied. I mean, well, let's be honest, she probably is going to be tied to Eyes of Wakanda when that comes out. She's probably going to be tied to a lot of other things. But 6 episodes is, how can I put this over so nicely? I hope they do it justice for an opening that does not require a closing, if that makes sense. I'm trying to say the best. I want it to be a nice presentation, but not to where we need to wrap up a small story in 6 episodes, if that makes sense. But Joe, you got something on your mind, sir.
Well, question is how are they running this? Are we doing a 2-episode opening and then we run for only a month?
Well,
I think possibly 3 episodes.
Let's find out. I'm gonna try to do a quick search. To see what we get.
I'm not totally up to date with Ironheart in the comics. If she's not in an issue of Champions, I don't have like the full origin story. I'm still.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just saw the episode.
I'm still not pro Ironheart, not on this, but in the comic sense.
Mm-hmm.
I still have the thing that she was created and only to make Brian Michael Bendis a paycheck when we already had an established character getting ready to step into that role.
Mm-hmm.
And they've never used that character ever again. Like she has never been seen or heard from ever again. It was Rhodey's niece that was going to be the new War Machine when Rhodey was getting ready to use the Iron Patriot armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to answer your episode guide question, Joe, June 24th, you'll get episodes 1, 2, and 3. July 1st, you'll get episode 4. July 8th, you'll get episode 5. And on the 15th of July is episode 6.
So what's the Star Wars thing coming out after this? Because there's got to be a Star Wars thing.
In July? That's a good question. Because I'm just like, for 6 episodes, that's interesting. Unless
it's usually nonstop with them. As soon as something ends, they got something coming out right after it.
That's what I'm just like. I think they would have been better off with a 1-episode premiere, because this would have finished and dropped us off right into Eyes of Wakanda, which is also apparently kind of like Predator, is going to be a weekly time period series.
Yeah.
So we're going generations in the past. I think we get. I would not be surprised if we go from the landing of the meteor to current day Wakanda throughout that show.
The other question I have, and again, I'm not caught up in her books. If she's not in Champions, I have yet to read it. Why are we using the best friend instead of Robert Downey Jr. being the AI?
Money, and apparently that does happen in, I think, recent books, recent
Okay,
iterations.
this is the current one, not the one she got from finding the Iron Man armor and rebuilding it from the dumpster.
Right, they're not going with that story. The story they're going with is the suit that she builds entirely of her own, with her friend as the eye, is the current run. So they're not.
I think that's why they have the neural links popped up, because I'm pretty sure her subconscious is looking at her friend as like her Jiminy Cricket, which is how she becomes the AI. Yep. But yeah, apparently friend gets killed in a drive-by, and when Riri does that, apparently that's who manifests. Yeah. So that is comic accurate. Also, Robert costs money. So
Robert's on set is why I asked.
I
would not be shocked if, again, this ties into Civil War with the Tony Stark "everyone's grants shall be paid for" type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I could also see that being why she gets kicked out of MIT. Like somebody gets caught not doing their homework, and then like your whole racketeering ring is probably going to get busted.
Pretty much. But I mean, the way they showed it in Wakanda Forever, it's like the way that Okoye rolled up on her and she immediately got paranoid. It does kind of say some things. But no, I'm looking forward to it when it comes out June 24th, and we'll definitely be covered from there. The last movie trailer that we do have before we get to video games and other news, this one I think was just announced just yesterday. Like I said, this is kind of in the realm of me and Joe's time.
Before we go into this, let me say one thing. I don't want to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
He needs to shoot his scenes now. The man is 96 or 97?
98.
Okay. My point is we don't need him doing an actual Yoda in the middle of the movie.
You're right.
Hey, this is why I feel. That's what I feel about OG Professor X and Magneto for Doomsday. I'm like, I get it. We're probably gonna crisis on Earth this thing. Here's all the OGs. We'll put all your Earths together with new faces. But I'm like, I need y'all to like film their shit first. They've been with us a long time, but any day, anything can happen.
And what we're getting to, for all those that don't know, Mel Brooks did release this, and this was a long-running joke. Again, this was a time when me and Joe and others were very young, and a classic retelling of Star Wars called Spaceballs came out. In the same realm as Mel Brooks. If you know what Mel Brooks did, he did do he did a lot of movies. He did a couple movies that, probably wouldn't fly in this day and age. But again, he gave us a wonderful story called Spaceballs. And there was always a joke in the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, I gotta figure out where it's streaming, because it's streaming somewhere, especially now. There was a joke about the sequel for more money.
You'll see me again in Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money.
Yep. And with that being said, we did not know several decades later we would finally get the answer to that sequel.
This is all petty as hell, and I love it.
2 Doom, 7 Jurassic Parks, 2 Avatars, 3 upcoming Avatar.
you potential DCU detective.
And Oppenheimer.
After 40 years, we asked, what do the fans want? But instead, we're making this movie. May the Schwartz be with you.
To Joe's point, Mel Brooks, for all those that don't know, is 98 years old. To Joe's credit, please go ahead and get those scenes filmed now out of just safety. We are not
him gold, stick the ears on him, and let him do his lines. You don't even need to do age makeup.
At the same time, we're not wishing ill will on Mel Brooks because, again, if you know Mel Brooks,
Dude, that's a crime.
I mean, Blazing Saddles, History of the World. I can keep Robin Hood, Men in Tights. I can keep going on about all the movies he's made. But Blazing Saddles will always be near and dear to my heart because there's so many jokes from that. But again, Spaceballs was another one because it had Bill Pullman, it had Rick Moranis, John Candy, several others. Michael, I cannot think of the guy's name from Police Academy. Michael, the sound effects guy. I cannot think of his name to save my life right now.
Police Academy dude?
Yeah. Michael something. I can't remember his last name.
Even Tuvok from Star Trek is in Spaceballs.
Yep. So there's a lot of characters. There's a lot of people that actually were a part of this cult classic. And again, just to reiterate how important this is, they actually got. You got Bill Pullman, who originally did play in the movie, and Rick Moranis, who played Dark Helmet. This now, for anybody that does not know Rick Moranis, again, this was a guy that a lot of us grew up on in several different movies.
And in series.
Yeah, and did retire from Hollywood to be a father. Has came back in a few movies as of late, and is actually coming back to play his role as Dark Helmet in Spaceballs 2.
Supposedly, Bill Pullman's son, who was just in Thunderbolts, will also be in this movie, supposedly as a character who is the son of Lone Star known as Starburst.
Yeah. And also Kiki Palmer is also going to be in this too. So I'm really curious to see exactly where they're going with this. I mean, Mel Brooks has always wanted to do a sequel to Spaceballs, but now 38 years later, has it been almost 40 years?
Yeah, it has. I mean, to be fair, we did get History of the World Part 2 just 2 years ago.
Also a great movie if you have. Also a great series if you haven't seen it.
Not as good as the first one, but it is still good.
Yeah, but again, the fact that you're getting some of the original cast, although I'm hoping they do a nice tribute to John Candy because, he's moved on to the great beyond. Won't be able to.
You know they're going to do a joke as like he never should have ate that chocolate.
Yeah, I can see that joke, but again, the kid in me is happy because we are going to get to see a sequel of this. Mel Brooks still alive to write and direct it, and like we said, please, oh please, get those scenes down.
So he's not directing it, but he is co-writing it.
Okay, well, as long as his hand is in it, that's the big thing. As long as his hand, I don't know why, but if it's not Mel Brooks doing anything, I would rather not watch it because if it's not the original director behind this, it's not going to make any sense. But
although Mel Brooks does get any older, he will be screen accurate to Hotel Transylvania, Grandpa Drac.
True. Joe, I mean, so far I hate to ask this because I know, like I said, you're a little bit younger than us. Have you ever seen the original Spaceballs?
I have not. I just know all the memes and references from you guys.
Dude, you have got to go see that.
Because I bet with the announcement And I was right. I bet with the announcement of that sequel, it can be seen on Max, on Hulu, Roku, YouTube, Apple TV, Fandango, Amazon Prime Video. So for all those that have never seen it, you have multiple avenues now to watch the very same show, the very same movie that, well, really made up a lot of our childhoods. But that made me happy when I saw that. But like I said, moving right along to video games because we do have a lot. Summer of Games Fest did happen, and we didn't. Like I said, when we had our guest Husky Hokage on, we covered a lot of our picks. Although there were some that happened afterwards that we didn't get to that we want to get to now. Especially this one that has caused quite the stir among the internet gaming community for a game called Reloaded. Tafara, would you be ever so kind to explain why people might be mad about this game?
It's the first act of Black Panther, but you play as Killmonger for the entire time.
I mean, it is actually. I saw the trailer and I like this, but if you haven't seen it, here's the trailer for Reloaded.
Treaties were signed, promises made and broken. Is it stealing to take back what was stolen?
Stolen? Who's stealing them?
Us.
It's time to get out of there.
Let me introduce a friend of mine. Smart, agile, and will let you look into places with the tightest security.
I could probably bench press every one of them.
The locksmith strikes again. Hold on.
Listen, are you having second thoughts?
Nope. Just hoping you won't get me killed.
Yeah.
I know what you and your little crew are doing.
Nobody threatens my family or my friends and gets away with it. So we are going to do whatever it takes to take back Africa's belongings. And we're going to do it together.
All right, so that was the trailer for Reloaded. As you can see, is bestly wish listed. And here's the thing, because I was reading up on this. I love the fact that this again, another indie game that looks like it's going to be great, but people are a little bit upset, and only because the basis of this is that, well, you're basically stealing from museums. And the only thing I can sit there and say is, people have been playing GTA for almost going on 20 plus years now, where you committed so many heinous acts that they're considered normal. But a game about basically reclaiming artifacts in a 2D scroller, which looks pretty freaking nice, seems to ruffle people's feathers for no other reason. And all I can say is, hypocrite much?
Yeah, GTA, Saints Row, The Heist, Payday. What was the other one?
To a degree, Indiana Jones and the Circle, whatever.
And the Great Circle, that's another one.
We just had an Indiana Jones game come out.
Yep, with another DLC for it. Although the game Indiana Jones and the Great Circle was great, but even he was like, yeah, it's like we know you're looting, but at least you're being honest.
That's my favorite thing about Indiana Jones is every time he says it belongs in a museum, he doesn't mean the country of origins museum. He means
very much
the American museum.
Yeah, but with the game for Reloaded, again, this is coming from Epic Game from the Epic Game Store. But I want to definitely give it shine because I think it looks like it's going to be worth playing. The studio behind this, Nima Cop, is that how it's pronounced?
I want to say Niam Cop, I think is how you say it.
Okay. But I want to definitely show them some shine because first and foremost, the game looks great. I definitely want to give it a shot. Once I have to go on my Steam and wish list into that one, but it just looks great all around. So I got no issue with it. But for folks that's in there saying we're playing a game about stealing. Okay, so when your GTA 6 comes out, I don't want to hear anything about you saying about stealing, reckless endangerment, or just wanting to fly a jet because you can. So I just definitely don't want to hear anything about it. But what do we think, guys? I mean, as far as folks just being nitpicky about stuff.
It looks fun. Side-scrolling, quick action adventure. I don't think it'll be a long game, but also it's just heisting items, so I don't see a lot of like violence being in this. Looks like just a good, cool parkour side-scroller. I'm down to try it. And I know they said wish listing does help. They do say they appreciate all the instant support they're getting. I think they really got a lot banking on this, so I'm hoping it goes well.
All right, Joe.
At what point are we teaming with Carmen Sandiego?
DLCs later down the line. Carmen and Killmonger DLCs pending.
Pretty much. I mean, we know that eventually is coming. But yeah, still looking forward to that when it comes out.
Oh, speaking of that, I was watching an interview, or I was watching a reel, and they found the stylist that originated the Killmonger cut, and he formally apologized.
As he should. I mean, well,
it's not his fault.
It's not his fault. Yeah, go ahead, Spar.
Because even the Spider-Man guys, like when we interviewed Najee at DreamCon, and they were like, "Why did they give you?" He's like, "I don't know." He's like, "I kept coming to mocap sessions with different haircuts, and I thought maybe they were writing it down and taking pictures. And I guess at one point they just said fuck it and just said put that on his head." So when I played the game, I was like, "Well, I guess that's what we're going with," because I never had that, but I guess they got tired of seeing the different hairstyles and didn't know what to do. So they said, "You know what? That works."
I just sat there as like myself. I said, and again, he shouldn't be faulted for the Killmonger cut. It wasn't his fault. It was supposed to work for the movie, and don't get me wrong, it did. It's just that it seems every video game developer thought that was the go-to for people of color.
It was even in Horizon Zero Dawn 2, the main black kid. Well, actually, I should be more specific because they did black people awesomely in that game. The main dude that's with the main character also had a Killmonger haircut, and that thing is so far into the future that it's caveman times, and he still has immaculate braids.
Yep. But the thing about it is, though, like I said, we can't really knock the guy who came up with it because it's not his fault. It's just like we said, game developers basically took it and ran with it, and we wound up with that.
At this point, it's just this.
Wait.
Yeah.
You're trying by societal convention.
Yeah, pretty much.
What was that?
When Perry the Platypus gets trapped on the train?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, why did my mind went to Scratch from the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Although that could fit too. But the other video game trailers that we do have, again, these are ones that came out that we couldn't get to, but we're getting to them today. Tenet of the Spark. I have yet to see this.
I know they dropped a concept video a long time ago. Like, I've been waiting on an update for this for a minute, and this was during, I want to say, Future Game Show.
Okay.
Yeah, there was 3 other shows that happened. Like, I think while we were live and the day after last week, and this was.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Future Game Show. I need to go back.
There's like 8 different things, and then I think CEO is happening right now.
Yep.
Well, I know we got either GamesCon coming up, or I know Tokyo Game Show's coming July or August. One of the two.
Tokyo Game Show is July.
Hey, I need E3 to come out of retirement, like the grandma that doesn't host Thanksgiving anymore. Like your children.
You need to be paying attention to Tokyo Game Show, because if you're getting Kingdom Hearts info, it's going to be there.
I mean, they've given so far all we've gotten is Goofy Movie Lo-Fi with a hint and whatever that dancing animation they put out for Mickey's YouTube channel recently.
Or they could just go ahead and tease another. They just like dragging that out to folks. But anyway, here's a trailer for Tenet of the Spark.
Hey, what's up? I'm Artem, the game director at Raw Games, a small indie team scattered around the globe. We're making our first game, Tenet of the Spark.
The true power
of the Spark!
It's a cinematic action where you fight bad guys over 3 timelines. Present day, the Viking Age, and the Aztec civilization. All at the same time. You got it, right?
Ancestor, I need you.
And it's not just for show. You have to use all 3 characters to explore, deal with tricky enemy types, and solve puzzles. It also answers questions you thought you'd never ask. Like, how the hell does this black boxer have a Viking for the great-great-great-grandpa? Or why does this train car turn into a giant rock? And the biggest question is, why did they risky roll with such a difficult project? Because we wanted to play a game where you can start with classic 1-2, then send your opponent across the arena with your hammer, switch again to pull this dude a little closer, hit him with a huge combo across all 3 timelines.
The hell are you?
And now we're making that game with blood, sweat, and spark. Planet of the Spark. You got it, right?
I got a little mini-me. Look, wash up.
We're not dropping the release date yet because we want to do it right. But we can say it's coming to both PC and consoles. Follow and wishlist Planet of the Spark on Steam. And go look at your family album. Maybe your grandpa was a badass like mine. You never know.
I have several questions. Getting beat across multiple timelines is not a bad idea, and I like the concept. Yeah. Nah, I got nothing else, but I'm just gonna have to wish list this one and find out. But fellas, any thoughts on this?
I appreciate them just saying, "Hey, we'll give you an update, but not a release date." I fully understand it. It's a unique concept because we've had games like this, like what was Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions and stuff like that, but simultaneously crossing every time period at once mid-combat is such a unique thing. So
yeah,
I'm curious to see what this is like when it's released, because this could be turned into a franchise if done right.
Oh, it could be interesting. I mean, fight mechanics alone would make this way different. Joe, any thoughts?
The Aztec guy looks like the main bad guy from El Dorado.
Say that one more time.
The Aztec dude looks like the main bad guy from Road to El Dorado.
He does.
He does.
Also, if I play the Aztec guy, can I be Krunk?
Just because you just want to sit, just so you can recite the line, just to get Cusco's poison?
Oh no, I just want to be able to hit somebody. It's like punch somebody through time. Oh yeah, it's coming together.
That line would work though. But no.
Or my even better one. Wait, you knock him out. Wait. He has a point. I don't get. No wait, he's got a point.
It still works. But as you can see, Rise of the Spark, Tenet of the Spark is actually going to be on wishlist on Steam. A lot of games are being wishlisted, which, again, I'm not knocking. I do like the fact that some game developers would rather be honest with you than lie to you and pick a deadline that just wouldn't be able to work. So that definitely does make sense. I can actually respect that, but definitely will wishlist that as well. The other two trailers that we do have before we get to other news, Wu-Tang, Rise of the Deceiver. This, I'm going to be honest, during Summer Games Fest, did get our attention. Didn't really show a lot of it because, again, I guess they're trying to work up hype for it. But if you have not seen the trailer for Rise of the Deceiver, here it is.
They're out there. Oh. Gotta rescue mom. This is what we gotta protect. We cannot choose when people's dreams get snatched up by
Find Inspector Death. Find Rizzo. Find Master Kill. Find Jill. Find Method. Find Alonzo Raycon. You find Cat. Find Ghostface Killer.
Where is the Wu-Tang Clan?
Find them.
all I can say is there better be a soundtrack with this game. As you can see, guys, that was the teaser trailer for Rise of the Deceiver by Wu-Tang, presented by Ghostface Killer. Fellas, what more do we need to say about this?
Curious as to how much Wu-Tang or if the characters are going to be playable. I'm not surprised if they drop new songs for this. I think they're going on their final tour as well very soon here. So if this is part of the Wu-Tang retirement package, I'm here for it.
I mean, there has to be. The way this is being set up as a video game, graphics-wise, it looks great. Not a lot's being said about the story except that you have to find the members of the Wu-Tang Clan. I'm wanting more. I'm not gonna lie to you. Also, shout out to 9B Collective because they were also one of the groups behind this game. Again, it just goes to show you where all these indie studios are really showing out this year. But yeah, can't say anything else. We're looking forward to this one on the wish list side of things. But Joe, any thoughts?
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm wondering, since it's called Rise of the Deceiver, if every boss is going to be a false version of each member of the Wu-Tang that you're going to have to fight. And hopefully, I doubt they'll do this because it didn't look like it was going to be able to, but I am playing Final Fantasy 16. I want each boss fight to be its own unique experience.
Yeah, I was ready for you, sir. But go ahead.
What are we talking about? I'm still talking about the Wu-Tang stuff.
Oh, you're going to Final Fantasy. I was like, oh, I was like, oh, let me get your stuff up. My bad. Continue.
I was saying, like, I was kind of open because I am playing Final Fantasy 16, but like what I'm getting at is I hope that each boss in the Wu-Tang thing, if they go with like fake versions of each of the Wu-Tang members you gotta face,
yeah,
get them back, that they're each their own unique style of boss fight.
That would be interesting, but I also sat there and said, I kind of thought about this too. Like, if the enemies you're facing are just examples of the greatest songs, because they had a lot of great. I mean, it would work too, just from a lyrical standpoint. But I'm all for new music. If Wu-Tang is going to be having new music to go along with this game, that's where I'm all for it too. But that concept is still great too, because if you are fighting deceivers, you could be fighting imposters, and that goes to the whole thing. But at that point, I'm gonna ask for Def Jam to get their mess together and finally give us Vendetta 2. But again, that's just me. But yeah, again, all these games being wishlisted on Steam, I am not complaining about the fact that people are taking their time with games, and that makes me happy. That makes me think that, they're actually taking gamers seriously. They're not just asking us to spend $70, $80 on unfinished games. It just makes it worth it, is what I'm getting at. Yeah. But Joe, I did want to throw it to you, sir, because you, outside of your birthday, you actually did get a Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy starter set. Sir, your opinion on it. How did you like it?
I will say this. I'm still kind of iffy on Magic as a whole because I understand how expensive it is. I only plan to have like a few commander decks and just play the crap out of those. And only with like certain friends. I'm still kind of not comfortable continuously going back into a card shop outside of Middle Tennessee Gaming over in Bellevue. Mm-hmm. Those people are just chill dudes that are fun to hang with. I still kind of just like go to hang out and vibe with them and whatnot rather than play. But the set overall is really fun. It is now officially the highest selling set of Magic has ever released. A lot of people, though, loving it. Also, the old school Magic people hate it because they feel like these sets are getting more preferential treatment than actual Magic sets. I will say I am a little bummed because you can clearly see what Final Fantasy's got more love than other ones. So, like,
what was the last expansion or collab they had?
It's either Fallout or Doctor Who.
Okay, because I know there was something familiar they did recently, and I didn't see this
They
one.
also did a Marvel one not too long ago, because I know someone's playing Captain America as a commander. Oh, Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
That's what it is.
And it's taking away hype from the next actual Magic set, but it's also a big space opera set, next big Magic set, and then the set after that is Spider-Man. And we're already seeing previews for Spider-Man, even though that's 2 sets from now. We haven't yet to see a preview of the actual Magic set. However, I do have to laugh with some people. It's like, well, I want it to go back to old school high fantasy. It's like, do you know what half these games are about? Do you know how many goddamn dragons you have to fight in Final Fantasy?
Oh, let them fight it the hard way.
Do you know how many black mages you have to stab on a repeated basis? Unless it's Vivi. Vivi is a sweet cinnamon bun of a fireball launcher and should be protected at all costs. But he's also the highest, most expensive card in the set.
True.
The other thing I can say about it is this set actually does fix some issues with certain color typings. So red-black can never do what red-blue did and be a feasible spell slinger, which is low creatures, high instant spells.
Okay.
Red-black can now do that. Not on par with red-blue, but enough to where it can be sufficiently run.
Gotcha.
I am having the most fun with Commander. I've already built a red-black deck. I've got Squall coming in the mail. This Final Fantasy VIII is my favorite Final Fantasy. I wish I could afford Clive, but I'm budgeting myself to a certain amount. I am not going to go to that budget. I live on my own now. I have to pay for everything. So Magic the Gathering cannot impede me paying bills. I refuse to be that person that goes like, I can afford that set if I don't eat for a month.
Yeah, that's always it.
Ramen to afford this new nerdy thing.
Let me put it to you this way, people. I like to eat. I like to cook. My love of being able to feed myself will always win out over overly colorful cardboard.
True.
Even though I did sell some of my trades today to Middle Tennessee Gaming, again, we're shouting them out because Jeff and Charlie are good people. I got about $75 store credit. So,
Nice.
That's one quarter of a box for the next set that comes out.
Well, that's good to know. I was at least going to get a starter deck just to sit there and say I have one, although it has been forever and a day since I played Magic the Gathering, and I do mean it's been a while. That being said, we did want to go on to our last video game trailer before we get into our news, because we do have some sad news. We do have some other happy news of other things.
We got news that confuses the crap out of us and makes us slightly angry. Not Abe Simpson angry, but close to it.
Yeah, that too. That being said, this also was a Summer Games Fest trailer. Again, more on the survival horror side. It's basically called Ill. I will stress this very heavily. It is more of a Resident Evil Dead Space game. So it definitely is graphic. Viewer discretion is advised. So if you intend on sleeping tonight, you might not want to watch this.
Not the game of kick the baby at the end.
I'm sorry. The baby being kicked at the end always makes me laugh a little bit, and I know I shouldn't. It makes me question about that being a parent. But that was the video game called Ill, as you say, guys. Also wishlisted. This is also coming from the same team of Munfish that did Atomic Heart. It looks like it's gonna be nuts. I'm definitely gonna be playing this. Probably not in the dark at night, because call me a punk if you want to. I would like to sleep sometime. That being said, it is a first-person shooter from the looks of it. Story looks like it's a little bit of a mind warp, but yeah, I am definitely looking forward to this. But fellas, your thoughts?
I'm hoping a lot of that was actually gameplay and not just like cinematic stuff getting ready to become gameplay. Because I didn't really see a HUD, reticles, anything like that. So I'm curious to. It looks good in theory. I need to see more somebody with the controller in their hand.
Yeah. Joe, I'm pretty. You said first-person shooters aren't usually your thing, but from a trailer standpoint, what you think?
Meh.
Just not. That doesn't grab you.
Nah.
Fair enough. But yeah, it looks like it is going to be good. I'm definitely going to be wishlisting it. And like I said, not just like a broken record, I am perfectly okay with wishlisting games at this point, because if you're just showing us what you're doing, but you're not making empty promises, I'm not against it. I will sit there and wait on Steam because, and Xbox did release a handheld. Completely forgot about that, which actually is pretty good considering the fact that they aligned with Republic of Gamers. So it looks like an ROG Ally handheld. No price point as of yet, but probably the same as an Ally or a Steam Deck. So expect to pay probably $500 or more, depending on storage. But it does actually look great. I can't knock it. But definitely check it out when you do get time. Xbox did have a nice showing of their own this past weekend. Might have outshined Summer Games Fest a little bit with the games and they shown, but again, can't knock it. Although State of Play with Sony also has some great things as well. We actually found out we're getting a Resident Evil game. We're getting Resident Evil 9 Requiem, which is basically following Outbreak. Still, all great things. But the news we did get, I have to thank Joe for, because again, we are getting a reboot of Running Warriors. It has been a while since 1998, and they are actually getting introduced to a brand new generation. If you have not seen the trailer for this, here it is, and let us know what you think. Okay, so that was the teaser trailer for Samurai Troopers, otherwise known as Running Warriors. Now, as far as news, because I did try to go to the actual site itself, I thought it was a movie at first. Joe did correct me. They usually take a couple of episodes and actually string them along to show as an OVA in movie theaters, hence why you're probably seeing the movie there. Outside of that, as far as news goes, let's see here. They're just explaining what you can expect. Joe, as far as a release date, do we know? Did they actually announce a release date yet, or is that still waiting to actually hear back on that?
No, I sent you all the information in a different post when I posted the trailer.
Shoot, you probably did.
It's January 2026, so that means it's part of Wave 2 of winter anime.
Okay, got it. Because I know, like I said, I was trying to see information directly from the website, and that's my bad. I should have actually had more on that. But I know, Joe, you've seen Samurai Troopers as well as those Running Warriors. Tafara, have you ever seen Running Warriors?
Clips and pieces, but I've never heard anything bad. So I'm seeing a lot of the OG VHS Saint Seiya type people popping up on the timeline. So everyone's very excited for this.
I had the toys.
I used to have the toys. Those
I
things are long.
had Anubis, and I had the White Armor.
Okay. So I'm about to say, yeah, I used to have the toys, but oh, okay, my bad. I got the link. So it actually will be appearing. It actually will premiere in January of next year on Sunrise handles the animation. January 2026 is when it's supposed to debut. Okay, that's cool. I can live with that. Next year is a nice little surprise.
I'm certain people are going to probably have an issue with the fact that the wielder of the Armor of Light's going to be a girl. More than likely. Oh, well. Samurai. There were female samurai. Let's not forget that.
Oh, another anime. Oh, I missed this one. Another anime returning after 3 decades is Cat's Eye.
Oh, yeah. No, I've known about that for a while.
New to me. Wow. Remake in September of this year. Oh, well, that's good to know.
Sexy Thievery coming back.
That's good to know. But yeah.
But Road Warriors, man. So this is a sequel. The main character, the new wearer of the Armor of Wildfire, is Guy. That's as much as we know outside of one returning character, which may or may not be from the manga. I don't know if this is adapted from the sequel manga that came out a bit ago. But Sayura will be reprising her role as Guy's mentor and reprising her role as the third Ancient One in the series.
Okay.
I don't know if that is going to be the case for the anime, but that is what she does in the sequel series. I don't know what's going to happen with the other ones. I'm assuming that they are either going to be sealed mentors or possibly parents to the new one, because this may be in the modern time frame. So all those boys are old enough to be fathers at this point.
Nice.
God help you if you're Kento's kid.
Yeah, that looks like that's gonna be cool though.
I wouldn't mind it to be Rowan's kid though, like Rowan of the Stratosphere, the space arm, the one armor that was the hardest as hell to get him because that boy was in low orbit.
Nice.
You don't remember that one? Rio had to launch himself like into low orbit space in order to get Rio back.
It'll probably come back to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. My mind is kind of blank right now.
Go to a volcano and launch himself on a rock platform just to get himself high enough.
Still not ringing a bell right now, but it'll come back to me. I'm pretty sure.
I wonder who the new bad guy is because they did kill Tulpa, so I wonder how what's going on there.
So this is a full-on just continuation?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a full-on sequel.
So yeah, it's definitely gonna be good. But
I wonder
also
if the OVAs are gonna be canon, because that means the African kid with the giant ass Inuyasha Sango boomerang with the black armor would have been canon.
True.
Okay.
It could be good though, but we'll find out come next year. Also brought to my attention, and I'm gonna be honest, I am committing blurred black card material with Steven Universe because I have never seen an episode of Steven Universe, but everybody, including Tafari and Joe, have seen it except me. But with that being said, I did want to announce that they are getting a sequel coming to Prime Video, as it is called Lars of the Stars. So, guys, I'm about to ask a stupid question, and forgive me for this. Why is that important?
It's just a nice spin-off of the show because we technically watched Lars like straight up fucking die in the show, which is a line they normally don't cross. So Steven Universe is very cool. It started when I was in college, and then what really made it blow up was the first season finale, because that's when you finally realize, okay, there's like a bigger plot going on here. It's not just a bunch of stuff in the background they don't explain. Something bigger is actually happening, which has led to this boy's life being as confusing as it is, and taking and I get it. It's a very pride-loved show, but Rebecca Sugar does a good job of making it all ages appropriate, where she's just like, I just want everyone to understand that you can accept everybody regardless of what they have been through, who they are now, or where they come from. Everyone can get along. And she does a great job of showing that. But as we get deeper into Steven's story and you find out more about where he's from and his dad and the aliens he's hanging around, but in the middle of that, Lars gets kidnapped and just immediately dies saving Steven. Because basically his mom had these powers where if something gets killed, her tears can revive it, and usually they turn pink. So when Lars became this, everyone's like, so did we just witness this boy bite the big one? Like, it's so sad.
So we should probably also state that Lars was a principal supporting character.
He was. So he literally, it's one of these things where it's like he was just a regular kid working at a donut shop who Steven annoyed the crap out of and was just wrong place, wrong time, ends up in space, is like brutally taken out, and then Steven revives him. But after getting a taste of space, Lars is like, I don't want to be just a teenager in a donut shop. There's a whole galaxy out there.
He just said, I don't want to come back.
Basically.
He pretty much became Kyle Rayner. He's like, I'm tired of Earth. Space needs me.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
and then for whatever reason, he becomes Captain Harlock of Galaxy Express 999, which is where his outfit comes from, and his starship is almost the Captain Harlock ship too.
Interesting.
And he has his own Crystal Gem crew. So I'm wondering if this is, while it says it's a sequel series, I'm wondering if this is how he gets his crew and his ship and becomes Lars of the Stars, or if this is like further adventures of Lars of the Stars.
I feel like it could be a little bit of both. But yeah, so Steven Universe very much themes on light, and then the sequel, which is Steven Universe Future, is like, we know why you're watching this show. We're not going to be cute about any of it anymore. And the movie was a good transition to that. And now that audience has aged a bit, because I just saw somebody do a whole time slide on TikTok, like, hey, I was in middle school when this dropped, and now I'm 19. Wow. When this show is coming out, so it'll be cool to see how they take this show, how they revisit some of the source material, if we maybe see some of the other planets that Steven's people have destroyed. And then I'm pretty sure these two are never getting back together, but I'm also curious if we see some of the aspects that Rebecca Sugar has been drawing lately that never made it into the show.
Actually,
there's some stuff they gotta explore too.
They actually may have a trailer down here. Hold on, y'all.
No, I think it's just a teaser image.
Yeah, it's just a teaser image.
Oh, wait.
So yeah, we're basically getting an entire show of that.
Oh, okay.
I'm down.
That looks pretty cool. I'll be honest with you. I have never seen an episode of Steven Universe, but I think I would actually give that a shot now.
It's a good show to sit and watch with the kids.
Yeah, it kind of starts like Adventure Time, where it seems like a bunch of scattered episodes. But once that finale hits, everything falls into place.
Cool.
Yeah, the first season finale is what went viral, and I saw it, and I'm like, oh, so they brought Estelle back to do voice acting and to sing.
Also, you do think his father is a deadbeat? That is not the case.
Okay.
Yeah, his mom is really the problem, and then at the end of the day, it's like you realize his dad is stupid and kind of contributes to the problem. In the sequel series, they very much explore that, like, his dad is a problem, and I'm very glad that his girlfriend's mom kind of called him out on it.
But also, he is doing his best with what he's been given. Because the dad's in a situation where he realizes he's not raising a normal child and definitely needs to hand him off to the ones that knows what he's doing, but still actively is a part of his son's life.
Gotcha. Okay.
I do very much like that they addressed Pearl's racism, because that was getting under my skin. Like, that was getting under my skin early. I'm like, are we just never talking about this? Because, like, why is dad living over here, but y'all built an entire beach house that he can't live in? And then I very much appreciate that's why I like Steven Universe Future a little bit, because when they went through like the mental health episode, or
Yeah, more specific. Steven Universe, that one was every episode was a mental health episode.
Well, Steven Universe Future, when she actually deep dives mental health, where he was just like, well, my mom lied to me, then my dad died, or no, my dad lied to me, then Pearl died, then this person died, then Lars died, but I brought him back. Like, then I accidentally killed this person. And she's like, have you ever seen a therapist? And he's like, I've never been to a doctor. And she's like, I'm having a stern talk with your father when you get out of here. But then you realize Greg is doing the best of what he can, but it's also kind of his own fault. Like, I very much wanted an episode where they go back and meet his grandparents.
Just to see where it all went wrong?
Because, you find out that's kind of what Steven Universe Future does. It's like, hey, there's a lot of vague stuff that you don't talk about. And then as a teenager, he's like, no, we're addressing all of this. Why do we not know our family? And then one of the episodes is, you had a stable ass home and there was zero issues because his dad went off to like start a band. He's like, you just wanted the rock star life and just never brought me back here. Like, they had a house and beds and like structure and culture we could have learned. And his dad to this day is like, yeah, I don't want to live by the rules, man. He's like, I think I hate you now. So there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff you won't pick up, like kids wouldn't pick up for the first series. And then Steven Universe Future, the sequel series, which is like kind of like a series of OVAs, is like, no, we're going to straight up go heads into it because we know why you're still watching.
Interesting.
I mean, there's also really fun episodes in general. Like, there's a pro wrestling episode where Steven becomes a manager called Tiger Millionaire.
Yeah.
There's actually a full-on Initial D episode.
I see when they were teasing they're going to do an anime episode, everyone was hoping for I think something Ranger-esque but I was not expecting Initial D.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was not expecting the Initial D episode either.
Well, that's good.
Also, the musical talent in the show is nuts. Like, Estelle's fantastic. Which one is it Cardi B or is it Meg Thee Stallion? That's a Gem Fusion.
So I believe, and that's the cool part, every main cast, when they combine, they basically get a different fusion combination. So what is it? Garnet is Estelle, who does American Boy. Who is it? Not Sugalite. Whichever one, I think Steven and Pearl is the girl who played Nala in Lion King. I believe Steven and Amethyst is Allie or AJ, one of the girls from that Disney Channel band. And Steven and Pearl. Which one is the wild one? I know which one you're talking. I think it's Amethyst and Garnet fused is Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj, thank you. I could not think of which one it was. Also, Steven and his dad have a fusion too.
Oh yeah, they do.
Well, that's good. That's definitely good to know. So I have to keep that in mind.
It's a great thing to show the kids because that's one of like the best shows that help teach empathy and acceptance I've ever seen.
Well,
yeah, and it's very much the sequel series is very much who helps the helper because you realize, this kid saved the galaxy and fixed the universe, but all the crap your mother did and didn't tell anyone about keeps coming back to bite you, and it's not really fair. And they very much explore the main character fixing all these adult problems for millennia's worth of issues was a child, and it's starting to kick in and weigh heavily on him as a teenager.
See, I'm going to have to keep that in mind. But right now, Miss Rachel's winning that fight with my kids. Miss Rachel was just undefeated in this house.
All you got to do is show them the one Estelle fight video where she sings, and they'll be hooked.
She said she had no idea that song was going to take off the way it did. She was at MegaCon, and she's like, I didn't know. They just asked me if I want to do a cartoon, and I was like, all right. So then I did a few seasons, and then we recorded that track for the finale. And now people keep asking me to perform it. So I'm like, a check's a check. But so yeah, they had her singing it I think I think it was Comic-Con at one point when they were doing a panel. And it was they put her in the middle of a stage outside, and it was just surrounded by people. And she's like, you guys know I've never performed this outside of the booth, right? So if I fumble, we're going to do this together.
Hey,
And then she made a follow-up song, which is just Get Therapy, the song.
Wait, what?
The song is basically just like...
Oh, is that Here Comes a Thought?
Yeah, Here Comes a Thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just like, go to a therapist, the song.
Yeah, the songs are really good. I did like that we got the sequel show because when the movie ended and everyone was like, that's a happy ending. I'm like, this boy is
Wait,
traumatized.
which movie are we talking about? The one with Spinell or the one
Yes.
after?
Yes,
Okay.
when he finally fixed everything and then more of his mom's bullshit shows up. And everyone on Twitter I saw was like, oh, a happy ending. I'm like, did we not see his face before the end credits? He is ruined. Like when even the bad guy was like, all right, I've learned my lesson. Have your happily ever after. His face changes and he's like, there's no such thing as happily ever after. I was like, why did no one catch that but me? And then I'm like, okay, we get 16 more episodes fully explaining that wasn't just an in the moment. That is how he feels now because no matter what he fixes, something pops up that's not his fault, but everyone blames him for, and he just has to deal with it.
Well, we have to say because of reasons that you only can find out by watching the show.
Also,
there
Carl,
are reasons why it keeps coming back to specifically him.
And then Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force being his uncle is hilarious.
Nice. Hey, that's a lot.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
a
I
lot.
forgot that.
That's a lot to definitely go off of. But yeah, thank y'all for that because I just got to get past Miss Rachel first. Miss Rachel, like I said, is undefeated in this house.
All right, you just turn off like we're watching this now, kids.
You say that to a 10-month and a 2-year-old and see how far you get.
It's got bright colors. It's got bright colors and Cookie Cat.
Yeah, my sisters, all her cousins, they knew that season 1 finale song like word for word, and even I learned it because I had it on loop for a little bit.
Even the Cookie Cat theme song is tragic when you think about it.
I will give it a shot, but like I said, we will definitely see. But that also being said, we do got to move on to some bad news because, well, bad news, worse news, and then really what the F.
It's like having a birthday and then the day after your car battery dies. Oh, wait, that was me. That happened.
Dang, Joe.
I had too good of a birthday, so the universe has to balance it.
Just dang, Joe. That being said, that was we need the segue, but god dang. That being said, Warner Brothers, otherwise the Identity Crisis Network, we did find out will be splitting. Now, before everybody gets happy, here's the downside. As they are splitting, Zaslav unfortunately is still employed. He will be heading HBO and HBO Max TV. Which means that, unfortunately, everything that's dealing with HBO and HBO Max is still under his care. That being said, Warner Brothers Games, global networks, including CNN, TBS, Discovery, and Food Network, TNT Sports, will be under the CFO, Gunnar Winfidels. So, at least from a television standpoint, Zaslav will be away from it. But when it comes to HBO and HBO Max, unfortunately, Zaslav is still very much in the mix. Now, we have said many times in the show that Zaslav should have been replaced a long time ago with the decisions that he made as Warner Brothers, then Warner Brothers Discovery, and then whatever Identity Crisis name they did next. The fact that they merged only to split again honestly makes no sense because why even merge in the first place? But like we said, it's Zaslav. We shouldn't be surprised. But to be quite honest, that's not the most baddest news. The most baddest news, however, unfortunately surrounds Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which we just found out a few days ago because Anson Mount actually put this on his Instagram where he sat there and said, excited that we're getting a final season 5. Grateful for, being able for the role and being captain and being on the show. And we thought it was great. Almost every Star Trek show on Paramount Plus reaches season 5, Lower Decks, Discovery, and now Strange New Worlds. What we did not know is that with Strange New Worlds, that their final season 5 will be shortened. How much, however, they're only getting 6 episodes for the final season. And I keep on saying, this is where I say Paramount CBS Studios, I will never understand this for as long as I live, because Star Trek Strange New Worlds has been great, much like Lower Decks, much like Discovery. All these series have been great, and they all wrapped up appropriately. However, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, did Lower Decks get a shortened final season?
Let me go look.
But as he goes, looks. But yeah, it's just the idea of I never understood why give it a shortened final season. I mean, it's one thing to cut the budget because we kind of saw that in other shows, especially with Superman Lois, which again on CW, Superman Lois was great for seasons 1 through 2. I thought it was the greatest show that CW had going on as far as writing and production and the way they introduced the characters. And then, you get the 3rd season, which was shortened. Cast members were cut. And you can tell the story had to be, rushed. It made no sense. Now, do I see the same thing for Star Trek Strange New Worlds? They'll just have, I think the showrunner and the writers will do the best they can with 6 episodes. I do know from how season 4 wrapped up, there were still some storylines out there. I am hoping that, and I will say this, sometimes it is okay not to wrap up a story if you can't. If you cannot wrap up a line or a subplot in a story, don't do us a disservice of just rushing it along to say it has an ending. Sometimes if it doesn't have an ending, leave it for the fans to interpret, or leave a door open in case, the show gets picked up by another network. But I would hope that the writers and the showrunner for Strange New Worlds, for this shortened season 5, look, give us the best story you can, but let's not cheapen it by rushing the ending. But Joe, did you find out?
It's got a slightly shortened season. I think most seasons were 13 episodes, and season 5 was 10 episodes.
Okay. So again, it kind of goes back to this whole thing of when it comes to final seasons, I'm like, you can give it a final season and give it a proper send-off. I mean, for most Star Trek fans, we're used to that. Next Generation got a full final season. Voyager got a full final season. Even DS9 got a full season, and even Star Trek.
Enterprise.
Enterprise. Thank you, Joe. It got a full final season. So I've never, and again, I know a lot of people can sit there and say, well, they were handled by different networks. They weren't picked up by CBS yet. Fair. But they were given their final runs with almost next to nothing in interruption. But like I was saying, and Joe, you can feel free to chime in on this. Just for those who are of Strange New Worlds, just give us a proper send-off with 6 episodes. But please, oh, please don't rush anything. Don't cheapen it, is all I'm saying.
I mean, it's run its course. 5 seasons is pretty good for a show nowadays. Mm-hmm. My only thing is now we're starting to pick up the crew of the actual Enterprise, and I don't know how many people we want to grab. Does that mean we got to grab Chekhov and Sulu in one season?
Yeah.
And I don't think either one of them has been cast to my knowledge, although I definitely could be wrong.
No, Takei hasn't mentioned anything about it.
No. I mean, they're also got to make room because that big new one, Starfleet Academy, is coming out.
Right.
And that may be the new big hit because that apparently has almost everybody here in the sun. Even Becky Lynch is in it.
Yeah.
It just kind of sucks because, that's a really good series. The way they reimagined the Gorn into almost a xenomorph type of alien species as opposed to giant lizards that toss rocks.
Yeah.
Big step up and moderately terrifying. We had a sing-along thing where we learned that all Klingons secretly become Korean boy bands.
That's still funny. It's still funny.
What else? Yes. What I miss?
Oh, we're talking about Star Trek Strange New Worlds getting a shortened final season.
I hope they get at least a. Are they filming now, or is it already done?
Filming now. They're getting 6 episodes.
All right, I hope they at least get a chance to like do a proper wrap and say goodbye, because I know there's a couple shows recently that got canned, and they're at least letting them come back to like redo their final episode, so they at least can close off people's stories, which at least is nice if you're gonna kick somebody to the curb.
Yeah, but yeah, the Korean boy band Klingon, that will always forever stick with me. But like Joe said, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds did have a great run. I was really hoping they get the finale that they did, the finale run that they deserves. But hey, it's CBS, it's Paramount Plus. Well, be glad. I'm just glad we got additional Star Trek shows, and we still have Starfleet Academy coming. So I'll be happy with that. Before we get to the issue with Black Panther, I do have to get to the issue with the 15th Doctor. With Doctor Who, we kind of highlighted this on Summer Games Best podcast. We wanted to talk about it here because we wanted to give it its time. That being said, the 15th Doctor, Mr. Nocti, did have
Gatwa.
Well, I was going by the first name, not the last name. I was because Gatwa I always forget the last name. I never forget the first name. But as you can probably see here, we do get the scene of his regeneration. That also being said, it's and again, I'm not sure if this is playing or not on live. I'm really taking a risk to see if BBC is going to block this out the same way Disney does. So we'll find out. But this is his final scene, and what I wanted to show is actually at the end of the scene, and then go into well, let's kind of be honest here. The issues behind this current run of Doctor Who. But I'm going to be honest, I believe Nocti actually did a great job as the Doctor. There were a couple of episodes that really hit home. Still, the story in the engine is still the one that sticks out to me the most. The animation of the theater where they were fully animated. The maestro, not the maestro. I cannot think of that woman's name that was pretty much operating off music.
No, it was the maestro.
Oh, it was the maestro. Thank you. So there were a lot of, don't get me wrong, there were some actually great episodes that were written in this current run of Doctor Who. But this part right here that's about to happen is where a lot of people were just scratching their heads for a second and going, this is where we're going with this. And what I mean by that is basically coming up right about now.
No, because he says goodbye to the star because of joy.
Yeah.
There we go.
So, yeah, this. And don't get me wrong, for all those that don't know, yes, that is Rose Tyler. Yes, that is the companion that was with the 9th Doctor and the 10th Doctor, and now has regenerated to be a Time Lord. Now, for a lot of people, I myself included, I was scratching my head off about this because, again, and before we go down this road, let me say this. I have nothing against the actress that plays Rose Tyler. I think she did a wonderful. Thank you, Billie Piper. I have no problem with her. I thought she did a wonderful Rose. I thought for her time on Doctor Who as probably one of the more beloved companions, it had its time. I'm just not sure where we're going with this in the Whovian universe, with a former companion now becoming a regeneration of a Time Lord. And of course, this does come off the heels of the fact that they did not know, and this is where I say it's kind of an argument that Nocti actually stepping away from being the Doctor. Shooty staying away from the stepping away from the Doctor. BBC is saying it was his decision whether or not he wanted to continue another season. So it comes down to the who's wrong and who's right and who's to blame out of this situation. Before I throw this to Joe and Tafara, I will say this. Doctor Who did take a risk in making a person of color a Time Lord. This does not mean that a person of color cannot be a Time Lord. I do think that they did kind of hint that the Doctor did run into conflict because he was a black person, and that he was having some difficulty being accepted into some areas of society and the worlds that they went to because of the color of the skin. I will give the BBC credit for attacking that, for attacking it head on, not skirting away from it, actually talking about the issue. The problem that I have with this is how the companions. I mean, don't get me wrong, Ruby Sunday was kind of like a mini Impossible Child, and for its run that worked. Belinda, I just never really got, because it was like you tried to write Belinda as another Donna Noble, but that doesn't work because, again, her whole thing of wanting to go home but still wanting to be a companion to the Doctor, it just never really meld right. I guess you could say it that way. And then, like I said, introducing the Ranai at nearly the end of the second season, we're used to a big bad being teased throughout the season of the Doctor. So
no, not really, because I mean that's what when the Ronnie first appeared was in the finale of the 6th Doctor going into the 8th Doctor.
But I mean, what I mean by getting teased, though, because Tennant had his, Smith had his, Capaldi had his. They all within their first seasons actually got their main nemesis. I mean, 2 of them got the Master, different versions of the Master, and one actually got an enemy of Gallifrey, which was Capaldi being trapped in the prison. So he also
got his Master and Tennant's Master.
That's my point. But he got hit, but Capaldi's got his in too. But the thing I'm getting at is that it was how they were written. And I'm not saying that the 15th Doctor didn't get the same thing, because again, this is the same person that was the showrunner for the 15th Doctor, is also the same person that was there for Tennant and Eccleston. And I want to say the end of Capaldi, because Capaldi started with a different showrunner. I forgot their name at this time. But
Russell T. Davies was the original showrunner.
And then it was Stephen Moffat.
Michael Chinball.
And then Moffat.
Oh, it's Stephen Moffat, then Russell T. Davies, then Chinball.
Right. So again, I get the idea, and I still say it was a great experiment. But the problem is, for a lot of people that were kind of turned off by Doctor Who, not because a black man was a Time Lord, I just say that the writers had some issues writing from a person of color standpoint, and you can tell how it was in the show, because it just wasn't the same to me, very woven tale of Doctor Who for this one. But again, we can speculate over what happened with the BBC. Was it Shanti? We don't know. It's not our job to speculate or say otherwise, because both have wished the other side well, and he's moving on to other projects. But to say this was bittersweet, because I did enjoy his run as the Doctor. Had the episodes could have been better, yes, but also the fact that, again, we're seeing Rose as a Time Lord. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. But Joe, your thoughts on that? And then Tafara?
I think she's only going to be a Time Lord for as long as David Tennant was a Time Lord, meaning we're going to get her at the holiday season, and then she's going to regenerate later on, because they're already also saying the bi-generated 14th Doctor is coming back because of this, which is fine because it's David Tennant and Billie Piper. They have great on-screen chemistry. We know that from the multiple times over the season. Mm-hmm. Those two end up together, because there's still the clone of the 10th Doctor that's in with the actual Rose Tyler in that alternate universe.
Okay.
Where they're in Norway, remember? Way back in the day.
Yeah.
So they're still together.
Yeah.
Then the 10th Doctor does his stuff. Rose Tyler is always a constant thing. Like, it's like Matt Smith and Amelia. David Tennant's always going to have, the 10th Doctor is always going to have his Rose.
Yeah.
So Rose is back, but I only think this is going to be a holiday special scenario, and then at Christmas time she's going to regenerate into the proper 16th Doctor or 17th Doctor. We don't even know if she's a doctor because
that's also true.
The memory of Rose, because remember Rose is like omni-powerful.
Yeah.
Too, so
that's a fair assessment. They never said that she was the doctor. So that's fair.
It actually just says as Rose. It doesn't say Billy Piper as the Doctor.
Yeah, that's fair. That is completely fair. But Tafari,
I think she's just a stopgap.
Let me just say I hope so. But Tafari, did you want to add anything to it?
So his run is pretty much done.
No, his run is done.
Yeah,
so before we get to Tafari, I do want to add this one caveat. We did learn that there were 2 scripts for the finale.
Right.
In the eventuality that Shooty goes, no, I'll do a 3rd season. And it was supposed to end with him and Belinda and Poppy being happy, and then Susan looking at them from afar, because we did drop that huge plot point
about the daughter, right?
About Susan, which is the original first Doctor's granddaughter.
Yeah.
In his search for her, technically. So there is a 2nd script. Had he continued, the 3rd season would have been all about finding Susan. That being said, that didn't happen, so now we are where we are.
Right.
Go for it, Tafari. Sorry, I just want to add that.
No, you're fine. I just because I don't know how long a doctor's run usually is.
He is the 2nd shortest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually in the BBC, their seasons run about 8 episodes. So usually they'll get 8 episodes plus the Christmas special. So you're looking at maybe 9 to 10 on a good run.
So the shortest is Christopher Eccleston. He only did 1 season. A lot of people are saying the 8th Doctor. That is untrue. The 8th Doctor is technically the longest serving Doctor ever because he continued his journeys via audiobook.
Right.
He has like 10 years worth of audiobook adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the American TV movie made Doctor. Which we only see in Day of the Doctors in his final outfit before he becomes the Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Shooty is now the 2nd shortest Doctor to ever run.
Pretty much.
Okay. And then for I thought at the end, like, does the Doctor always transition like that? Or I thought he always met like some tragic, untimely death and then transforms versus just walking.
He can do it if he wants to.
Right.
Okay. Because it's not often I've seen the transformations to the new Doctors never sound like a willing turn. It's more like, I died again, and we're this person now.
Yeah, because sometimes like one was by a Dalek, and then it's just the whole thing. Like they don't die; they just merely have that transformation.
So the first Doctor, the actor just passed away, and they replaced him. When it was the 2nd Doctor, he was captured by Gallifrey and forced to regenerate.
Yeah.
Into the 3rd Doctor.
Yeah. So regeneration, so they never die. They never died Tafari properly. It's just a regeneration every time.
Okay.
But it's not bad. Like I said, that is the 2nd shortest run. But still, what
else is that, Tafari?
No, that's about it. Just like I always thought the Doctor like died and regenerated into a new person. I've never seen or heard of the Doctor willingly just being like, and I'm done with this. Just gonna walk into the ether and reform.
There's an old school thing where he is traveling with another Gallifreyan companion who's female, and one as a running gag, she keeps going into the clothes closet and just regenerates into different women just to match the fashion style and see if she likes it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all. It's all that one was always interesting, but let us know what you guys think. Like I said, if we're being picky or if we're just still want to know, because like I said, I still thought we could have got another season out of it. But like I said, we're not in the business of pointing fingers. It's both sides have been at peace with it and both sides have moved on. That also being said, Joe, did you want to talk about Ultraman? As far as your review on that one, or did you want to hold that off?
No, we can run the digest video.
Okay, let me go back and do that. Let me go back and go find it while you're talking about it.
Okay, so this is basically a digest video that's going to just like inform the audience more of what Ultraman is. This season breaks a very big convention of Ultraman. Apparently my hair wants to do the Superman curl. Where we get to see that the primary protagonist's out as an Ultraman almost immediately in the first episode to the crew he's going to be with, which is utterly shocking because that's almost never been done. Especially in the first episode. His new gimmick is he can switch out his head crests, and that gives him power-ups, as we'll see. His support team is also more directly involved because they can potentially fuse with monsters. Whereas I think they're calling it this time around meteor beasts. For Tafari, this may be more new because he's only been in for like one whole season, but still. This is going to be wild.
Okay. I'm curious how they are going to do, if they continue the references, how they tie in last season with this season, or what that potential crossover could look like.
Well, I mean, we still got to go back, and now that I have all of Ultraman Blazer, we should probably get back to doing that at some point.
Is that whole season out already?
Yeah, I have it on Blu-ray.
The one that came out after the one that we watched.
The one before it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the one
right. We're going backwards, not forwards.
Yeah, the Unga Bunga one.
Yeah. Okay. I keep thinking because I know you said you wanted to do the next one, but I keep thinking the one coming out, not the one that was.
We are doing Ultraman Omega, which is the one coming out in July. But at some point, we got to sit and chat about Ultraman Blazar.
Okay.
Okay, my bad, fellas. I had to kind of fight ads for a second. Okay, I got it because YouTube and ads don't go hand in hand. But I got the digest trailer. Here it is.
そのウルトラマンは空から落ちてきた。
You can put subtitles on this.
いない星に
Here we go.
新番組ウルトラマンオメガダイジェスト PV。 ある日倉庫の管理人をしている青年の前に現れた一人の男。大木田空と。俺の名は記憶をなくした宇宙人だったオメガ。なぜこの星に落ちてきたのか覚えていない。なんか胸がピコピコしてきた。星に後世は空との正体がウルトラマンオメガということを知る。大きく空との好奇心に振り回されながらも良き相棒になっていく。マジで尊敬だし。一同歩む国立自然研究センターで働く生物学者。ある怪獣事件の現場で空と後世に出会い、二人と運命を共にすることに。
私も同行します。
この3人を中心に物語は進んでいく。空とがオメガに変身するアイテム、オメガメテオとオメガスラッガ。この2つを組み合わせて50メートルの巨人に変身。相手の特徴や行動を見極めるようなオメガスコープという動作を取り、敵に立ち向かう。ウルトラマンオメガの技は多彩だ。頭に輝く赤き宇宙ブーメランオメガスラッガーをはじめ、レティクリュート光線などの必殺技を駆使して戦う。そんなウルトラマンオメガの戦いを後世はメテオ怪獣レキネスと心を通わせサポートする。レキネスは原動力で物を動かしたり止めたりすることが得意だ。さらにレキネスは変形してカリバーモードに。 ウルトラマンオメガに歴熱カリバーと歴熱アーマーが装着される。他にもトライガロンというメテオ怪獣が味方に、鋭い鍵爪を持つアーマーに変形する。ウルトラマンオメガはなぜ記憶を失ったのか、なぜ地球に落ちてきて人間を守るのか、そして未来には何が待っているのか。
大きくなれそうな気がする。
新番組ウルトラマンオメガ、日本時間7月5日土曜朝9時、テレ東系6局ネット初世界同時期放送同時期配信スタート。
Okay, that's cool. So basically, it's an upgrade. He's getting a lot of upgrades. Okay, so that's Ultraman Omega. Looks like it comes out July 5th, so that's not too far off from.
And they roll one of these out every year.
Yep, 24 episodes.
How many Ultramans have we had? I mean, I saw the movie. There was like 1,000. Never mind.
Yeah.
How many have we actually had?
Yeah.
So it's usually 10 per generation.
Yeah. But still, that's cool because I've never seen an Ultraman that actually used Metal Kaiju as armaments.
They did this gimmick once before, twice. Ultraman Ginga S had an Ultraman whose pet monster could become his sword, and then we had an Ultraman X, the Cyber Kaiju, that fused with Ultraman X to become armor.
Oh, well, that's cool. I'm actually enjoying it. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to catch you guys when y'all review it, but I'll definitely keep up with it. That looks like that's going to be pretty cool.
I mean, we could just do an easier thing this year and just like review it on this show.
Yeah, we could try that. An option. That's always an option, right?
And Super Riot doesn't. I mean, that's the fun part about Super Riot. They take all the publicity they want. They can. All they ever did was to say, "We're not showing this in Japan. Have fun."
That is true, though. That actually would help us out in the long run. But no, I'm going to have to keep that in mind. I'm going to keep that in mind come July 5th. But anything else y'all want to add to that outside of the fact that I'm like, hey, it's an Ultraman that actually has body armor?
Not much. I'll give them that. I will wait to see what they do or what comes of it.
Because every time we watched it, it was always something fun cinematic to watch the fights because they always did something different.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm curious what the angle or what the unique factor for this version of Ultraman is going to be.
Very much.
Last year, he really liked his shield. Man, did that Ultra love utilizing his shield in different ways.
I'm afraid to ask, but all right.
It was just his go-to. It's like, this isn't working, make the shield. Split the shield in half. Throw both halves at somebody. Rinse, repeat. Fold shield, throw shield.
Gotcha. So pretty much
didn't block the last attack. Try the shield again.
Oh, if all else fails, goes back to Old Faithful. Got it.
Basically.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, beyond that, fellas, before we get to Black Panther and then the comics, I know anime-wise, anybody got any updates? Because I have yet to catch up on Fire Force. Lazarus was great because we're not too far off from the end of that right now, and I still need to catch up on Sword of the Demon Slayer. But fellas, what about y'all?
Yeah, it was fun. At no point do I feel bothered or worried about any of the characters in the show, even though I feel like I'm supposed to at some points. Fire Force is great. I'm very curious to see how they wrap all of this up because now we are in a downtime period. Finding out,
we don't have to roll our eyes.
Like finding out that Excalibur is actually a Home Depot sword the entire time is all kinds of hilarious. Finding out his family is completely committed to the bit is more tragic and funny at the same time, which this show does a good balance of.
Yeah.
I get the whole I like the show overall. They kind of throw me off every time we cut back to show because I'm like, he was the focus of the entire first season, and then we just removed him completely. And now that we're going back to him, it's just like, I get that he was the focus, but I feel like we've developed nothing but bigger problems in your absence. To the point where like reuniting these brothers now feels so minimal compared to everything else.
Because you kind of forgot he was around.
Until the final episode of season 2. And now I think they wiped his memory or something.
Yeah.
Churches are evil. The Arthur finally got a holy sword. I'm curious to see what that turns into.
That was a fun D&D episode though. That was fun.
And what is it? His family being a bunch of lunatics as well.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. Like the whole Captain Burns thing kind of threw me. I get it. Like his life has basically been a lie to this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but I'm just like, so y'all telling me like Shinra, who's technically been a Fire Force soldier for like what, less than a year, killed your strongest captain, and everyone just believes that.
It is saying a lot, isn't it? And he ain't had much of a power up outside of his trip with an Adola link, but yeah,
right. But like, not even everyone knows how strong he is. So the fact that they're just like, yeah, the rookie killed this legendary captain, and everyone's just like, yep, that's the story we're going with. I'm like, I know you guys aren't buying this shit, please.
Not at all.
But yeah, finding out more about Adola, that stuff is cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then Vigilantes. Vigilante is very cool. It's nice seeing some of these heroes. Seeing Stain's origin, very much seeing the American rejects, that Japan is where they come to basically get a cultural reset once they have screwed up too much in the States.
I will sit there and say you were right about that one character. I said that is Homelander.
Yes, Captain Celebrity is Homelander.
Yeah, he's definitely Homelander. But
like, you are the reason Stain did what he did. Also, seeing heroes like Ida's brother in action, before Stain ends up taking his legs is very cool. Seeing that his entire I like that his brother is actually the more laid back of the two versus Ida, who's the more high strung one.
Yeah.
But yeah, finding out that our main character's quirk was kneecapped by his own mother.
Dang. And the fact that he actually had an ability, but because of that, he didn't really actually utilize it well, or was kind of shut down from using it.
Yeah, his mom had backhand as a quirk.
Did she ever say what her quirk was?
I think that's it. I think she's able to slap people without actually touching them. So when she does that in the air and you see the little slap thing pop up on the character, that I thought they were being like dramatic when she first showed up. I'm like, oh no, that's her quirk. She can literally do this and she doesn't have to touch you for it to land. So as a baby, when he would fly, she would just like spank him out of panic to the point where he forgot he could even do that.
Yeah. I just thought to myself the whole time. So I was like, I had to go back and rewatch it. Like, wait, what's your quirk again? Because you can slap somebody without touching them. Almost every mother has that ability.
I also like that he's doing a horrible
It's
job
called half flip flop.
It's basically Chancla the superpower, like without the shoe. But it's also doing a terrible job of keeping his identity because like he keeps forgetting to put his mask on. I'm like, this is going to turn bad for you at some point. Like, but also getting the backstory on Freaky Fist Grandpa, little knuckle duster.
Right.
Well,
so
wait, I'm confused about something. In that world, do they even need superhero identity, secret identities? Because they are technically government registered.
Him and his friends aren't registered. That's the problem. They're not registered, nor do they have licenses.
Right.
Hence the term vigilante. They are just people in costumes doing this. But because he was known as just like a guy who picks up trash in an All Might hoodie, but now he's like, I'll save him. And people are like, dude, cover your face. Like there are cameras around. People are going to see you.
And then he know who you are, right?
He almost gets caught by one girl whose whole quirk is what is the polygraph? Her quirk is polygraph. She shakes your hand, she can tell if you're lying, but because everyone gets his name wrong, when she asks him if he's the hero, he's like, no, and it technically wasn't lying. So he keeps getting saved by silly shit like that, and it's cool, but I'm like, eventually this is going to be a problem. But also possibly getting a confrontation either today or tomorrow with our potential big bad drug dealer and our sensei, and seeing what that turns into.
Yeah. But still, it was still fun though. But anything else, Tafari?
That's it for me. If y'all got anything for the shows y'all are keeping up with.
I'm behind. Joe?
Yeah. Apocalypse Hotel continues. We now know that we are 527 years in the future. The hotel is thriving. The little girl has both grown up, married, and had a daughter by this point, the little Tanuki girl. The little son has become a hermit bowl maker. The grandmother has passed away. This was all last episode. This episode introduces the little daughter, and a murder conspiracy happens when a guest comes in and just suddenly dies.
Yeah.
And then another person of his species comes in and goes, hey, I'm looking for this dude. He's one of the galaxy's most known terrorist bombers ever to exist that make candy bombs that will detonate unless we get to them. It just turns out that they are deathly unknowing to anybody, even themselves. They are deathly allergic to the atmosphere and die. Both of them do. And then the daughter just ends up eating the bombs because they just taste like normal candy and become normal candy in this atmosphere.
Interesting.
It's a comedy thing. What are you going to do? Gundam continues to impress me. Machu is back in space. Cassilia makes her move, and good God, is it a huge move? Have you not seen this new episode?
I'm telling you, I saw this is gonna be really bad. I saw 10 minutes of the first episode, and I was kind of planning to go watch the rest of it.
So that Cold War between Garen and Cassilia is immediately over.
Okay.
It's like like there is one meeting and it is instantly over. There is no longer a Cold War. I'll just put it that way.
Gotcha.
A faction of Xeon does activate the Rose of Sharon, effectively making a Zek Nova cannon, which instantly teleports anything they want to it and then dissipates the teleport, thus crushing what's ever in the middle of the black hole teleportation device.
Okay.
Char's still around with a horrible haircut. And Machu meets up with Nyan, who is now driving we swear to God, it's not an Ava unit, G-Fed. No, it is definitely an Ava unit.
Interesting.
And then I picked up a new series because Amazon Prime was like, oh, you like this. Watch this. So I watched Ume Masumi's Cinderella Grey, which is a spin-off series of Ume Masuri Pretty Derby, where it's horse girls named after professional racers racing. I tried watching the original series.
Okay.
That is far too cutesy, even for me.
Dang.
I like a good slice of life, but this is far too moe. Way, way over there.
So
this one, the spinoff, is a bit more serious because this girl's a monster.
Okay. I was gonna ask.
So it is. She is one of those. She's not dumb. She's just not as smart as some of the other racers. Ogre recap. It is an actual horse. You can go look up the actual history and everything.
Okay.
And these are actual races that they participate in and whatnot. So the whole thing is, she's a racer from a Bunkin town. She's a gray, ashen style. So she's got gray hair, which are notorious for having like bad legs. So when she was young, she couldn't even walk on her own. So her mother helped her do like permanent rehab on her legs until she was a teenager.
Okay.
And that's what makes her like such a huge monster on the racetrack. It's also a mild comedy because the girl eats like a horse too. Like she terrifies the cafeteria people.
I got so many questions.
Oh yeah, go. It's on Amazon Prime. It's not on Crunchyroll. Go give it a watch. Don't do Pretty Derby. That's why I said, oh my God.
Avoid it.
It's not that it's bad. It's just so super cutesy I mean, I'm sure they got their own trial and tribulation stuff going on here, and you're gonna feel something for somebody and whatnot. But that is like high school girl racing drama. This is I want to be the best. I'm in a situation where I can't be the best. Oh, I have a rival. Oh, I'm gonna crush her. I'm gonna crush her in her hopes and dreams. And then we're gonna be friends, but I'm still gonna crush everything that comes my way.
Fair enough. Still,
like, let me see if I can find a trailer for that.
Okay, because that's see, that's good.
Like I said, don't do pretty dirty. The name alone should tell you super cute, way too cute. If your guys are into that, you belong on the list of the government. But I'm still okay. I'm not going to report you. You're safe, but you should be on a list somewhere.
And what was the name of this one again?
It's probably better if I type it in versus you typing it in.
Oh, good Lord. Is he going to? Yeah, go ahead and copy and paste that because I don't want to end up on a list, Joe.
No, you won't. Not with Cinderella Gray. Party Derby, yes. I mean, it is a party game on the Switch, but still. Come on, YouTube. God, I hate.
Told you, YouTube and ads.
Hey, look, my brother put me onto
YouTube and ads. It's YouTube on Firefox.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, that'll do it. What you say, Safari?
I said my brother got me onto what is this browser I'm using? Brave. This thing has been a lifesaver.
Oh yeah, you gotta love the open source, no bloated, easy to use. I remember between that, Firefox used to be that way until Firefox got corporate, and then when Firefox got corporate, that was the end of that.
Yeah, Brave, you get absolutely zero ads on damn near anything, and it lets you know how much BS it blocks from you every time you log on.
That in itself.
Okay, I've sent a link to a spot of the episode, so go ahead.
Okay.
It's right there in the group chat.
I got it. Give me 1 second.
Hopefully, this doesn't have any extra like anime theme music or commentary.
Okay. All right. Let's see what we got.
いいスタートを切ったのは大外藤正マーチ。
小栗キャップと言ったか。今は3番手ですね。
さあ現在第2コーナー曲がっての直線。
第3コーナーで2番手小栗キャップは半馬身後方。想定していた中でも理想的な位置取りだ。足の余力も十分。あとは先に仕掛けるか小栗キャップの仕掛けを待つかの2択。第3コーナー残り600メートル。かなり体力を温存できた。ならば先によし行こう。
藤正マーチ小栗キャップほぼ同時に仕掛けた。第4コーナーの手前で2人が先頭へ躍り出る。小栗キャップ並ぶか。
なぜスタートをかけているのに追いつけない。
もう小栗が前に出られるチャンスはない。
負けるものか誰にも。息が苦しい。肺が張り裂けそうだ。感謝するぞ小栗キャップ。私は
And then
お前には負けん。
小栗キャップ前へ出た。先頭は小栗キャップ。
It's I Show Speed in Ashton Hall.
1着でゴール。
負けた。この私が一緒に東海ダービーで走る。
Okay, I gotta stop it right there. Did she really outrun you in Tim's? I'm sorry. I don't know why. You got outran by somebody in Timberland boots on a derby track.
Yeah, they all have like their own like unique outfits as you go forward, but like, so the Pretty Derby one's drawn more seinen, more girl style. This is drawn more shonen.
Okay, I'm sorry. I had to stop right there because I kept on looking like, oh, well, this is a nice little foot race. Then I noticed her feet, and I was like, she literally planted in Tim's and then went fifth gear on an actual. I'm like, I mean, I understand you.
The bottom of those shoes have horseshoes on them.
Just
so these like the Chimera races or what?
No, it's just like in this world, sometimes girls are born in horse girls, and they have names of horses of great renown from our world. Like I said, anybody named in the show is an actual racing horse in our world.
Okay.
I get it, but I'm still lost in the fact that she was literally and figuratively planted the boot and just said fifth gear.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know because I was like an actual horse girl. That well, I'm gonna leave that alone before the internet takes that innocent idea and
they've done that already when the first thing came out. This is like a somewhat old series, like 2018 is when it first started.
Okay. Well, that's good.
The main character is actually in it just as a background character a lot of the time.
Okay.
So now we're just focusing on her, and hers is a bit more of a serious story as opposed to we're a group of teenage girls trying to live our life as well as racing. Although our life does revolve around racing.
Fair enough. Well, besides that, Joe, any other anime reviews you got before we move on to comics?
What else am I watching? Yaiba continues to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Much like the Far East said, I don't feel like anybody's in any legitimate danger. I mean, the only time I felt that was the Mr. Bad episode.
Okay.
Where they got the One Piece animation team to like come in for them. Am I watching anything else? No, I think I'm watching other stuff, obviously, but like not enough to keep up on here.
Well, fair enough. Figure we still ask. Also, at the same time, guys, if you're watching anime that you think that we should give it a shot or just want to give your opinions on, just let us also know in the comments. But beyond that, the next part of our news, or the last part of our news, regarding Marvel Knights, kind of goes into our comics. So before I actually get to that dumpster fire, I did want to shout out to Rick's Comic City. Again, Nashville's #1 place to go to for comic books, for mangas, for collector's items, you name it, they got it. 2 locations, Nashville, Tennessee, and Clarksville, Tennessee. Definitely check them out. They show us love here on the Get Bit podcast. We want to show them love back. You can also check out their website at rickscomiccity.com. Definitely check them out if you are in the Middle Tennessee area. And if you are not in the Middle Tennessee area, guys, please support your local comic book stores, support your local bookstores, support your indie writers, support anybody local. Why? Because they need our attention, our patronage, and our dollars. I get it. Comixology is great if it's still around. Starbucks, Barnes & Noble is great. But again, guys, these places, along with our libraries, definitely need our attention because, again, there are powers that be that are out there in this world right now that want to control what you read, what you see, and what you play. Again, support these areas because not only they are bastions of knowledge, of entertainment, and escapism, you will miss them when they are gone. I cannot stress that enough. But before we get to the comic pools, we do got to point this out because, again, this actually did come up earlier this week, or I should say earlier, or I should say a little bit of last week, somewhere between this week and last week and this week. But anyway, Marvel Knights did come out with The World to Come, part of a 6-part series that's coming out. And for a lot of people like myself that you saw this particular comic book here, where they did start with Black Panther, Joe Quesada and Christopher Priest, who worked on Marvel Knights before, no strangers to shock and awe, decided to do a story, a different story of the world to come, involving Black Panther and a son that is trying to take the mantle. We've heard this story before, except the son that they're pointing out is how can I put this ever so nicely? Certain pigment. He white. He white. He white. I was trying to be nice about it, but Joe just like, no, rip off the band-aid. He white. That being said, this was supposed to be T'Challa's illegitimate son. I'm not gonna go too much into the world to come because again, I don't want to spoil it. If you do so inclined want to read it, be my guest. The issue with a lot of people with Black Panther is just that with this story, and again, this is going to kind of go into spoiler territory a bit. I will try to keep it as minute detailed as humanly possible, but again, spoiler warning if I do cross into some territories. With this story, T'Challa did actually lose Storm in the race war. T'Challa is an older king. Come to find out, he was heartbroken, and through some rendezvous overseas, we come to find out that he is being challenged by his illegitimate son. Now, I only say that because it's been said everywhere else, but again, not going too much into the story. His son does kind of take advantage of T'Challa's mercy and tries to call the throne for himself. Here's the problem. And again, I try not to be overly critical of a comic book story because what may not be for me may not be for everybody else. Everybody's got different tastes, different tastes and flavors. However, I hate lazy ass writing. I do. That's the thing that betwixt my biscuits about this this particular one is that it's lazy ass writing. Tanishi Coates did a wonderful story on Black Panther. The Ultimate Black Panther, that particular comic book line with T'Challa and Storm. With Storm and Killmonger in that. Also, a great story. We've honestly been spoiled when it comes to Black Panther because they've taken great care including Kirby. Who all have taken great care in telling great stories about T'Challa. But again, I know, and I was saying at the beginning of this, between Quesada and Priest, they're used to shock and awe because they were the original writers for Marvel Knights. And again, this is not the first time that they tried to do Black Panther in this setup. The problem is, without going again into too many details, it's how the story is set up. Had the story actually been written better, I can understand why that particular plot twist makes sense. Unfortunately, how they've written it in part one of this, it doesn't make sense. It feels lazy. It just feels like you want to add turmoil to this, and you're pretty much telling us to eat it. But I get it. The world to come is supposed to be more of a what if, but in a negative, and not a negative, in a darker, more grittier tone. That's what Marvel Knights is. It's darker storytelling by Marvel. And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of Marvel Knights issues out there that are great stories, darker, edgier, more adult-themed stories, and that's fine. However, when it came to the world to come for a Black Panther story, this was just lazy writing. The plot itself is always the plot, but it's how you get there. If it doesn't lead to where you feel like, oh crap, this is different, but I want to read it, versus oh crap, this is terrible, who let Snyder in the room? And I mean that in the most nicest term possible. But like I said, if you want to read the world to come, feel free. But you can understand why a lot of people just may be mad about this, but not for the reasons that you think. Because a lot of people, and I'm sorry, Joe, I know I'm rambling, but I'm gonna wrap it up and throw it to you. But the part I'm getting to is just that a lot of people when they saw this thought that okay, well, you wanted a Captain America that was that was black, which obviously there was a black Captain America in the comics. You wanted a black Nick Fury, not remembering that people don't remember that there's actually two versions of Nick Fury: the man on the wall, which is literally the man on the moon, versus the one we have now. So, with all that being said, whenever it comes to gender or race swapping characters, it's always been understood that if you do it properly, nobody has a problem with it. Like, correction, nobody has a problem with Samuel L. Jackson being Nick Fury in the current MCU, or would you rather have David Hasselhoff from Nick Fury Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? For all those that remember that movie. What do you say, Joe?
Both.
You would have both? Okay, fair.
Because they're two different eras. Like,
and you're right.
David Hasselhoff is our Vietnam to Cold War era Nick Fury, Samuel Jackson is our post Operation Desert Storm to now.
But you know what's so crazy about that? That the Hasselhoff would be the man on the moon. He would be the Nick Fury on the moon right now. He would literally be the Watcher-esque person on the moon.
Yes.
While Nick Fury, while Samuel Jackson, what we know is literally the person running the show as far as S.H.I.E.L.D. So,
just like in the comics where he's Nick Fury Jr. actually.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of people are trying to sit there and say that, oh, well, you guys, I mean, we can't have a white Black Panther. It's not even that. It's again, a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people get this wrong. It's the fact that for a lot of readers, including myself, that are Black Panther fans, we are not mad about the fact that if you wanted to make a white character to take the throne of Wakanda, do so in a story that we actually want to read, not a story that just reflects that you want to be lazy about it. That's the thing. I mean, if you want to give us, I mean, case in point, it's just like when Captain America, when he said "Hail Hydra," and the first thing everybody thought, "Oh, Cap turned." Not only to come to find out that really wasn't Captain America, that it was just a clone.
No. That really was Captain America. They used the Cosmic Cube to change how he grew up.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I'm getting my facts.
The clone is the current Captain America.
Yeah, the clone is the current Captain America. Thank you.
Steve-O is still Steve-O.
Yeah, my bad. Thank you for correcting me. But yes, when people got mad about that, it's like they were mad, but at the same time, it's like, let's run with it. Let's see where this goes, because it's different storytelling. But how carefully crafted that story has become, very few people have an issue with it now because it's actually good versus, the world to come. Now, I am not knocking. This is just my opinion on it. I can't, Joe, you can, if you got an opinion on this as well, feel free. But just for me, it's lazy writing. And if it's lazy writing, then it's going to turn a lot of people off. That's just my whole thing about it.
All right. My opinion on this is going to end up being non-canon. So why is this such a big deal? Not the race thing. I get that. I do. I went through that somewhat in the 90s because this is the inverse of when we got the son of Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Who Connor Hawke is half white, quarter black, quarter Korean.
Mm-hmm.
But he is very much black. Like, he is black with blonde hair.
Yeah.
Because genetics. I don't know what to tell you guys on that one. That's not me. I am not part of the artist team on that, or the creator consultant team on that one.
Fair.
Asian eyes, black skin, blonde hair.
Right. Only a German geneticist could have came up with that one. But go ahead.
Also gay, which does deal with pride and is in an issue we will be talking about. That does actually play into some of his stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, people threw their hands up in rage on that one because it's been Ollie and Dinah all this time, and then we bring out Ollie's lover at one point, and like maybe a couple in like a particular arc, and all of a sudden he's got a child who's black, Korean, and white. who becomes the new Green Arrow and replaces Ollie for the majority of the 90s, along with Kyle Rayner and the other like legacy heroes. Excuse me. This is the same thing, only I don't think, regardless of how much they say, oh, this is going to be in the near future, bullshit. This is Marvel Knights. This is a different imprint. This character will probably be retconned out of existence or will die a hero's death or a meaningless death later on down the road, and no one's going to miss him. Or he'll just vanish because they don't want to deal with the pushback as they get on later on down the road. We've seen new characters invented for like this on this stuff for no reason. I mean, look, not everyone's going to be a Miles Morales. Sometimes you're just going to be that new squad of that squad of champions that got immediately backlashed into non-existence. Remember where they had hot, cold, safe space and cell phone?
Yeah.
And we just bullied the shit out of them, and that book never came out?
Pretty much.
Yeah, those kids are never coming to the book. This dude is coming to the book. The book is released. But in the grand scheme of things, the story wasn't good. I'll tell you that much right now. The race war they kept talking about, I'm assuming means human versus mutant.
Please tell me they're like a Sentinel or the nullification.
They just kept saying the race war and they lost Storm, so that just tells me it was humans versus mutants.
It was human versus mutants, but they're saying,
is it Tuesday again?
Which was tell me that like some Trask technology was involved. So like, don't make this sound like it was just some lucky vigilante with a pistol. Because even with with Deadpool and Wolverine, I was kind of hoping for like still
they
images.
never really go into how she was killed. It's just it was the race war got her.
But that's the thing. But that goes back into where I said lazy writing, a lot of people were just like, Storm went down, and you don't. And I said this is why I said it was the problem with lazy writing. You took one of the most, if not arguably, powerful mutants, and you're saying during the war with the mutants versus humans that somebody was able to take her out, and if so, you're not going to explain how. And that's the thing that bugged me. It's like, again, this is where I say a lot of, and not to get, a lot of people are like, well, Black Panther was always going to be let's be honest, they always wanted to be a black person. Again, I am not knocking with you wanting to rock the boat. The problem is, if you're going to rock the boat, you have to do it properly. And they didn't do it properly. They didn't. From beginning to end, this was not proper. From beginning to end, you could have made his son more sinister. You could have made him, I'm not gonna say Killmonger-esque, but at least have him trained as such. You could have made him sophisticated. You could have made him ruthless but intelligent. You could have went so many ways with this, but you didn't, and that's the problem.
If it were me, the easiest out and the easiest way to make this even remotely usable is this kid is the son of Ross. And T'Challa adopted him at a extremely young age because something happened to Ross and his family.
Okay.
So he is an adopted child of T'Challa. That is one of the only ways I can see this redemption on this thing, because every other way in this is just dumb.
It is. Even his introduction, albeit how it was done, was still terrible.
The thing is Christopher Priest is one of the most prolific writers for Black Panther and Blade.
He wrote for Blade.
Okay, and he's like one of the big writers for both of those characters. Like Christopher Priest run Our Beloved. So I'm wondering how much of this really was written by Priest and how much of this was written by Quesada.
That part. That's the thing. I mean, even though it says it was written by Priest and art and wraparound was done by Quesada, it's just like, did y'all really, or did y'all just take marching orders? What did you guys actually do? Because
I mean, there's a reason why Joe Quesada is not an editor of Marvel anymore. I'll say that much.
For multiple reasons. But I'm sorry. Yeah. But Tafari, your thoughts on this?
This is out already, or this is still on the way?
This is out.
No, this is out. This came out last week. We just aren't going to cover it because it's dumb, and I can play this.
Yeah, you would have been better off leaving almost no detail, shadow dropping this, and letting people talk about it themselves. But like everything we know about this is the stuff you willingly volunteered. So do with that what you will.
I mean, it's just. I mean, usually, like I said, we're never on the show not downing comics or telling people not to read. And again, we're still not telling people not to read this. I still want people, and we are not experts or quote unquote the go-to people. We never said that. We never will be that. We're just guys that love great stories and comics. That being said, we still want people, if you do want to entertain this, that you should give it a shot and then make up your own opinion. But I mean, for us, we prefer our stories with just a little bit more finesse. And
Still,
it was just.
I'm giving it this round.
Say what?
Still, I'm giving it this.
Oh, it's okay. It's not okay.
Not the Mrs. Swan. Not the Mrs. Swan. Not the Miss Swan from Mad TV. It's okay.
No, it's Community.
Oh, I heard Miss Swan. I'm sorry. I heard Miss Swan from Mad TV.
This one instead.
Yes, my queen. The ant has some faulty programming.
Jesus.
God bless Beast Wars.
But yeah, but like we said, it's one of those things to where, again, if you want to give it a shot, feel free. But like I said, it's gonna be hard to go to part 2 if this is supposed to be a 6-part series. But that's all that I have on that. So, but yeah, this was going. Hopefully, this leads to a better news in our comic pools. So, Joe, whenever you're ready on that.
Boop, boop. Go to Rick's Comic City, do the stuff.
Oh yeah, because again, it's always fun there. Although I did love the fact that they did change a lot of things around. Also kid friendly, because I could see off the bat I had my troops in there, and they were having the time. They were having fun in there. I will say that much. What else I was going to point out? Tafari, did we have anything from DreamCon that you wanted to bring up during your time there?
A lot of cool stuff. Got to meet a lot of cool people. Finally got to meet Swoozie. Boondocks panel was great. A lot of that is on.
Can I ask one thing about the Boondocks panel?
Yeah.
What was with that mass booing when that one guy came on the screen?
Okay, so Vlad has been, if you don't know, good for you. Vlad has basically been known for being the guy to get hip hop people to come on his platform and like telling themselves.
Pretty much.
And there's since like the birth of YouTube, and really the issue is that he's never had any competition, honestly. Like he got popular when I was in middle school, and here I am in my 30s. So when somebody it got to a point where it's like he went from being just a cool platform to, by the time like the next generation of artists come along, oh, if I don't get an interview on this platform, I don't have a career.
Pretty much.
But he's always got like information that people you can't, like, it's not available to the public. It's like, so you got stabbed in jail, right? And it was a white guy and a Mexican guy. And it's like, how do you have that information?
Mm-hmm.
And there have been multiple instances where people do interviews that end up getting them back in court, if not more time, or getting them jammed up, basically. And there have been interviews where people tell about things and it has real life implications and fallout.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been made aware of this in very much culture vulture things. And he's had fallouts with a lot of people recently. But before, he kind of had the wool over people's eyes. So being this younger generation who's very much aware of his shenanigans, when his face popped up, everybody was like, we know you were part of the show, but please go to the next guest.
And booed the crap out of him.
Yeah, it was funny because it was like Monique, I think Sway in the morning. He pops up and everyone boos, and then we cut to Most Def right after. So he was in the show. His appearance was very much not appreciated by the creator, and it very much caused some issues behind the scenes. But that's basically it. He had something that could have been cool, and very much it just became the place the police go to find incriminating evidence.
Pretty much.
And his platform has aged terribly. He acts like he doesn't understand why, and folks are just not here for it. Which is also why when it ended up in an article with that same video, like he called in live, and I'm like, hey, that's not what happened at all. Could y'all please fix this?
And they used Safari's footage.
I'm not bothered by the footage or the tweets. I don't like the story they tried to use me to paint, and that was the bigger problem. Which, like, whatever, you can use my shit. It's people will know it's me. I don't like because I don't if that's the story you're gonna spit, I don't want my name up there like, oh, look what happened and look who captured it, because now I look like the asshole putting out all the bad shit.
Right.
But yeah, the Boondocks panel was dope. Bringing out John's son was actually unplanned. He just showed up and he was like, they kept asking me to do it. I was like, I was literally in like one episode for 2 seconds, but fine. And it was actually a nice surprise. So it was cool meeting JD. Also, I didn't know he was even in the original show. I wish he would talk about that more. Meg Thee Stallion's panel was cool. IronHeart showing up very last minute and getting to do a panel with Tony Weaver Jr. was cool. Getting to meet a lot of people, got a lot of free stuff. What else did we get? The Boondocks panel, well, not panel, the press conference we did. Got a lot of insight from them just about the show, stuff they'd want to make in future episodes. Loki turned into damn near an improv comedy show for a hot second.
Yeah.
That's out on Blurred's Eye now. Whoopty and Navy went to MomoCon. So the interview with Nolan North is up right now. That was actually a pretty cool sit down to watch and chop up. Zayna Bear is going up next week. But yeah, we got to do a lot of cool stuff, meet a lot of cool people, got to participate in some cool press conferences, got to meet a lot of behind the scenes people. Yeah, got all the autographs of everyone who was there. So hopefully working with some people in the future, we will see what plays out. Everyone is still angry at me about my anime hot takes, which that was like 10 out of they kept like 10 out of 40 of them. So
it makes me wonder what you said.
I could.
You know what? Yeah, keep going. You know what? I'm gonna find it.
Yeah, if you want to shoot him a DM, they'll probably be willing to do it.
You know, I would love to. We would love to have him on here just for that.
Yeah. So those got because we were supposed to do that last year. So because we had to wait a year, I was like, I want to make sure we make the most of it. And I wish he would have kept the beginning, because that's why I'm making that face, because he's like, you're no stranger. And I'm just like, I had a feeling I'd run into you. And then I pull the phone. I was like, I came prepared with my grievances.
I'm sorry.
So even because I can tell they kept the camera rolling early. Like if you notice, everyone else is off in a corner. And I feel so bad by the guy whose job it is to like watch the cars so people don't lean on him and stuff. Because I could tell he was nervous. Because then when I called everyone over and you see there's like 15 people between these two pristine vehicles, I could see him kind of freaking out. I was like, I promise we won't dent it or scratch it. But like that was completely unplanned. He didn't know what I was doing. I just grabbed him and moved him. I was like, yeah, we're going to need room. He's like, what? He's like, oh, you have a list. I'm like, I wish you didn't see the phone because it was supposed to be a surprise. Yeah, they are angry with me.
Yeah, I was trying to get this. I was trying to catch it before.
You hit the volume now. It's about to start over.
I know you are no stranger to hot takes. Don't hold back.
Nobody understands Jujutsu Kaisen. We're all just here for the hands. The only good thing about Akira is the animation. The story is absolute trash. Fans came up with a better ending to Attack on Titan than the creator did. One Piece is great. Power scaling makes no sense. The first episode of Don isn't weird. You just want to be different. Luffy got Ace killed. Stain from My Hero Academia was right. Tsukasa from Dr. Stone was right. Blackbeard's power is plot armor. Zeke Yeager's plan made no damn sense. The last My Hero movie shouldn't have been made. Everybody.
This man came with an army.
Black people can cosplay whoever they want. Black people can voice act whoever they want. If you got a problem with them last two takes, you're part of the problem.
Yeah, that was completely unplanned. Like they were everybody.
Oh,
I don't know why it just
they got him.
Weird.
I was saying,
They apparently came for you. Like, dang.
Apparently, so yeah. The ending was a complete surprise. I was literally huddled with everybody who was like, "Wait!" I was like, "Hey, when I call y'all over, just do the super hot fire when I fall backwards." So they didn't know what I was gonna say, but you could see them like co-signing it. So I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna need room," and I just moved him over. And then when I called everyone over, he was like, "Oh," they were happy with when that happened. They were like, "Yeah, that's like we're gonna have fun like cutting that up." So I wish they would do the full. I wish they would drop the full version. But if it hits a mill, I will go over the full list. But yeah, that was a year in the making, and I wanted to make sure that like after waiting that long to do it, I wanted to make sure they got something good. So I was like, you know what? And the amount of angry people I have on Facebook, which lets me know you watched to the very end.
You know, we got to have that guy on. We got to have him on. So yeah, we'll have to shoot him a message and see when we can have on the show, because yeah, I figure you wasn't wrong on your takes. You wasn't wrong. So
yeah, they're mostly mad about the one. What is it? It's the Jujutsu Kaisen people. It's so fun to watch people get angry, and then other people start arguing with them, and it's like I don't even have to do anything. Y'all are doing this to each other. It's like, oh, it's because you don't read Jujutsu Kaisen. It's like, hey, you missed the part where he said anime hot takes, right? Like,
yeah, that's still funny. Well, thank you for that, sir. Joe, I do see that you got your comics up, sir. So whenever you're ready.
All right, we're doing some of these fast, some of these slow. Absolute Green Lantern, good book. Jon Stewart gets too close to the truth. We don't have to worry about that anymore. And Will went away. I was waiting for him to say something on that.
Oh, he had to go check on Obi. Okay, so what are these, like, Demon Realm hands coming for the...
No, this is because in the Absolute Universe, Hal Jordan is the Black Hand.
Okay.
One of the primary villains in Green Lantern, which I loved. And so Sojourn Mullins, or Joe Mullins, is now the Green Lantern of Earth. So she's dealing with Hal Jordan, and Jon Stewart gets a little bit too close to the truth. And as a result, we don't have to worry about Jon Stewart anymore.
Okay.
Moving on over to Green Lantern Corps, number 5. This is... Oh, wait, I forgot to do Absolute things. Absolute Green Lantern is written by Al Ewing with art, color, and cover by Janoy Lindsay. And then we go to Green Lantern Corps. Green Lantern Corps is written by Morgan Hampton, Jeremy Adams, arts V. Ken Marion, and Serge Acuna, with colors by Arif Peranto, Rick Brito, Hi-Fi, Lee Lowridge. This picks up where we left off. We are in the mindscape of Teen Lantern, along with Simon Baz, as they try to escape. Meanwhile, Guy Gardner takes a new recruit to go on patrol and end up fighting the Dark Stars. And then everyone just kind of meets in the middle. Good book. Green Lantern Corps is still solid. I'm happy they're doing things with the other lanterns that are not being currently used over in Green Lantern, especially when we get more representation via Joe and Simon and Jessica. It's pretty much, if you're not Howard Kyle right now, this is the book you need to be reading. But if you're not liking Kyle Rayner, then you don't need to be watching this show. DC Pride issue 1 of 2025 is out. Someone is attacking the multiverse, and surprisingly, it involves Alan Scott Green Lantern, because it may be his World War II Forbidden Lover, the Russian Red Lantern. This involves Bunker, who is only just recently come back from being reintroduced in the universe. Midnighter, again, as we were talking about, the Green Arrow, Connor Hawke, Sojourn Mullins, Apollo's and Midnighter's husband Apollo's in this, also Harley Quinn. Again, this is one of those, it's an anthology book that also brings everybody together at the end for one big thing, one big overall story. Definitely go read it because representation matters.
Yep, still a great story too.
Yep. Oh, it's a really good story.
Yeah.
This one went way, way above what Marvel did. Marvel was solid, but that was just good.
Well, I mean, it's DC Pride. They're gonna show out every time, but that's just me because I'm being biased.
Every time. Trinity Daughter of Wonder Woman. I don't know if this is a one-shot, but I am here for it because Trinity is hilarious and just trolls the shit out of Pariah the whole issue.
I will say it's probably not for me, but I let Chad read it and he thought it was hilarious. So I now know the target crowd for this. So
yes,
he loved
written
it.
by Tom King, art by Belina and Toga, and colorist by Alejandro Sanchez. Again, she's trying to chase down a super corgi while the wall of antimatter from an Infinite Crisis is happening. I love this book. It is hilarious.
I'll take the word.
Big read this week. This came from last week. We just couldn't get to it because of the thing. But Imperial, this is the big Marvel event this summer. Someone is killing all the intergalactic royal
beings. Well,
kings.
Royalty. We'll say royalty.
Yeah. Intergalactic royalty. This is written by Jonathan Hickman, art by Eben Colio and Federico Valentini, colors by Federico Blee, covers by Marco Cicchetto and Marte Gree. We get to see the return of the Green Scar. Wakanda may have effed up, but we don't know how Wakanda plays into this.
That's my thing. It's like I wonder because it's Wakandian tech. It's like it's a nice murder mystery. I'll put it that way because it does kind of point the finger at Wakanda.
Yeah, the Kree are also partially to blame, but they just look. We make the munitions. We did receive a weapons order. We don't fire the things. We just make them.
Fair.
It's not on us.
Less
because also,
less claws around, but that's a whole nother story.
Oh yeah, but I mean, the only reason Hulk's involved is because the son he didn't really give that much of a shit about, which is the one that looks like his wife was the first one murdered.
Right.
So he goes full Green Scar, brings She-Hulk, and brings Braun onto Sakaar because he's like, all right, you two got to hold down the fort. I got to go see people about this shit because other royals are probably we got to go talk to things because a king has died in the galaxy, so that's a big thing.
But still
you
weird
to hold it down for 6 days, and I love the caption. Goes they did not hold it down. Hulk was not back in 6 days.
It is still weird that like I said, Scar being the one son he didn't want, and yet you have She-Hulk and Amadeus right there beside you. I just thought that was interesting, but no. And then
I mean, that wasn't point blank because she's like, "Why are we here?" It's like, I'm gonna leave. They respect me as the king. You are my immediate family. Therefore, they will respect you.
Although I just
hold this shit together down. I'll be back in 6 days.
Although it's weird to see Richard and Star-Lord having a conversation. Richard,
no, it's not. Those two are always like
no. What I mean, no. I mean, the conversation in the story. That's what I'm getting at.
Buddy, I need you to no, you're an outlaw. Former outlaw. But they've been like that forever. So, I mean, to me, that's not a big a thing. I mean, those two have died together in Cancerverse and came back.
Yeah.
Nova was a guardian during a run with Star-Lord when Star-Lord was like dating the Roman gods, I think.
Yeah. Well,
that weird relationship with some of the Roman gods.
I want to say yes, but I'm not 100% sure.
So it's a weird thing. So no, but this is like the big space opera book. I hope to God this is as good as Annihilation. It's already off to a strong start, so I'm all there for it.
Yeah, I want to see where it goes as far as who's pointing the finger at Wakanda, but that's just my guess.
Next up, we got Marvel United Pride issue.
Mm-hmm.
Some of this I liked, some of this I did not like. This was also somewhat of a lead into Marvel or Avengers Academy.
Mm-hmm.
I did like the Black Cat stuff. The Dakin stuff was fine. I love the Billy and Tommy stuff. I don't care about the Young Avenger Juggernaut Jr., who's, even though he's Asian, ABI representation matters.
Mm-hmm.
I did not like the young Juggernaut character. I do not like the kid right there. Like, I did not like her in New Mutants. I do not like her now. She's just kind of a really annoying manic pixie dream girl style character with the mutant ability to mimic anyone's powers for a short amount of time. I just don't like her. That's just me. Like, it has nothing to do with her as a person. I do not like how they write that character.
Fair.
Still overall good book. The best one to me is the Goodnight Blue Rose, which was the dream that Mystique has where she's in a normal setting household as a loving wife and caring mother to a 8-year-old learning to teleport Nightcrawler who's constantly trying to be a pirate kid. He's in his pirate kid phase.
Yeah.
And just being a loving mom, and Mystique just being a loving mom is like, she's in another realm. This is a different version of Mystique, or this is a dream. It's one of the three.
Right. Although,
but
like
still,
I said,
that's my favorite one.
I mean,
Second favorite was, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, second favorite is the Black Cat one.
Yeah. I was just saying, don't get me wrong, Marvel's Pride version of Collaborative Stories was good. Like I said, I'm still saying DC's was still better, but still highly suggest to still encourage you guys to read the Marvel ones as well. Because like Joe said, there are some good stories there. Some of them, I'm gonna be honest, it just goes back to lazy writing. They could have been better.
Yeah. Avengers Academy, where we talk about some stuff. We get to see where the daughter of Blade and Lunella end up. Also, Normie Jr. Other than that, this was a one and done for me. I'm not going to pursue this book any further. These guys are at Avengers Academy. They're new heroes, young heroes. They are going to be going up against a very bizarre child version of the Sinister Six, and I just immediately tapped out.
I would say I can see it for the younger generation, but yeah, I'm kind of with Joe on that one. I would suggest that, but not really a pursuit on me on that one. Not to say that the book is bad. It's just that you can tell it's targeted for a younger generation. And I'm not trying to say I'm old, but you go where your tastes go. But it's not a bad book. Still want to give it a shot. Still want kids to read it and expand the horizon. So definitely do that.
It was written by Anthony Oliveria with art by Carola Borelli and Bialy Rosalind and Carlos Lopez and KJ Diaz.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's why this was like a mini graphic novel. That's why it was so long. It was like 6 issues long.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, it was like, God, this is going on forever.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we got Exceptional X-Men. This is written by Eve L. Ewing, art by Carmen Carino and Frederica Manson. Macon, colors by Nolan Woodard. We go into Axo goes into Mr. Sinister's psyche to retrieve Emma Frost. We learn that he has a very, very fragmented psyche to almost the point where it is basically Alice in Wonderland. We find his MacGuffin that makes him chill out, and we proceed from there. Again, solid issue, good art. I am biased because I'm a huge Emma Frost fan, but that is just me.
It's becoming a little bit of a hard read just because with this lineup for this one, this is probably gonna be one of those ones where it's just not my taste, but maybe for somebody else. I'm not saying it's a bad book, but still encourage people to read it.
Again, if you're a Gen X, and I do mean like Generation X X-Men fan, this is the book you want to read. This is this version of Generation X's Exceptional X-Men. Moving on over, we got Magic number 6, which I guess that means that this is now officially an ongoing series because I believe it was only supposed to be a 5-part miniseries. I'm all for it. Again, biased because I'm a huge Magic fan. I know I always get a chuckle from Tafari out of that. I will at least always be honest with you guys when we run against something where clearly I'm being more biased than I should be. This is written by Ashley Ellen, art by Jesus Javeras, colors by Arthur Hussolini. Magic and Madeline Pryor go deal with some limbo business, and Madeline keeps like, "You're not taking limbo back from me," and Ileana keeps going, "I don't want limbo back from you. I'm just here to help." That's all this issue is, but it's still a solid issue.
It's like I am just visiting.
I am an on-site consultant.
Just love as the demons in limbo were looking for acknowledgement, and Madeline got pissed.
Yeah,
it's like that part was funny.
New Avengers. This is the book that comes out of Thunderbolts. So this is our New Avengers team. This is written by Sam Humphries, art by Ton Lima, and colors by Rain Bretto. Bucky and Natasha go on a mission. They happen to run into Laura and call in a favor from Namor because they are dealing with Hydra. Or no, they go and deal with something, and it turns out it is the Jackal, who has decided to make mutant clones of the Illuminati. Grotesque mutant clones of Illuminati of hybridizing certain heroes in with among the Illuminati, meaning they are dealing with like Black Bolt, Steven, Doctor Strange, Charles Xavier, except they're all like big mutants. So that's how Clea gets roped into this. We're still not sure how Hulk and Carnage gets roped into this. Keep in mind, Carnage is now kind of a good guy because this is Eddie Brock, and Eddie has to keep the Carnage symbiote technically in line. He's also, in his own book, he's nearly killed himself 3 times to prove to Carnage he is not bullshitting around. He will napalm himself to death to kill Carnage if he gets out of control. Because Carnage has already set up a masquerade mass murder in his own book, and it turns out it's a symbiote. And it is like, no, you will burn, and I will die, and you will die with me.
Although it was crazy to sit there and say that you have to be crazier than Carnage, and at least Carnage does believe in self-preservation, even for a symbiote.
No, this was a really, really solid read. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to see how the team all comes together. Will, what do you think?
This one was kind of different. It kind of did follow a little bit. I thought it followed One Nation Under Doom for a second from the beginning.
It does. This is the immediate follow-up.
Okay, so it's the follow-up from that. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting just because Namor. I mean, of course, Laura Courtney and X-23 and Bucky had their road trip beforehand, which was cool. Still seeing Bucky and Black Widow in a semi-conductive relationship is going to be interesting. But Namor, of all people, acting more Thorish than I ever thought he would act. As far as where do I need to direct my rage? That's very Asgardian of you. But
I keep forgetting that Namor actually likes Bucky because of their time together on the Defenders.
Yeah.
During World War II.
Yeah. So I will say this. It's a nice read. I do want to keep up with this because I want to see where they go with this team. So I recommend this one.
Plus, this is the closest thing we're getting to a Thunderbolts book for a while.
Pretty much.
Next up, we got Spider-Girl. We are looking at this for a specific reason. I would not subject anybody to something without at least a decent reason or a decent story. So this is written by Torin Grombick, art by Andre Russo, and colors by Java Tarntaglia. Okay, so the main girl is named Maka Carne. The reason why this is not going to be as bad as Spider-Boy is she is a mutant. So her mutant ability is she can take the powers of anybody she looks at for a certain amount of time. Considering she was at a tournament and faced off consistently against Spider-Boy means she permanently got his powers. Her ability is augmented to where she has barbed wire webbing. So she can hurt people quite badly. And it's also, surprisingly, kind of Cobra Kai. Because her main supporting cast characters is all in a karate dojo. So this is actually a pretty fun premise. She doesn't insist upon herself like Spider-Boy did. She's already said in a previous book. Her arch nemesis is Bullseye, which is going to be fun. She still can copy other people's powers for a short amount of time because she does copy Vermin in this issue. But she has what looks like a fun cast. She doesn't go bother the other spider people immediately. She just wants to do her own thing. So this was actually a fun read. I was really worried this was going to be all the trappings of Spider-Boy where, like, I got to go harass Spider-Man every second of every moment of the day. And for like a real boy, she's just like, I just want to live my life. Oh, hey, I got to be Spider-Girl.
I kind of got that same feeling when I was reading this story, and I was like, first off, barbed wire web. Yep, that's definitely a mutant trade. That's definitely a mutant trade-off. It is a nice story. I'll put it that way. It's a nice story, and I really do want to see where they go with this because Spider-Boy just didn't seem. Spider-Boy seemed more rushed, whereas this one actually has some thought put into it. So I'm more inclined to see where this goes for this story.
Yeah, we'll give it a couple more issues, but right now it's on good ground.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Transformers number 21, written by Danny Ward Johnson, art by George Corona, and colors by Mike Spicer. We get some stuff with Shredhead and RC and Cliffjumper as they're trying to rebuild a gate from Cybertron back to Earth. Meanwhile, they finally figured out that the Megatron arm that Optimus has stapled to him is starting to infect Optimus, causing him to be mildly, chaotically, what's a good word?
Making proper decisions.
I was going to say prone to blasting things more than anything else.
That too.
Yeah. Megatron, on the other hand, just like, aside from... Oh, wait, we can curse on this thing. I keep forgetting it's our podcast.
Yeah,
just slapping the shit out of Starscream. Just the moment Starscream opens his mouth.
That was funny. That was funny. And then he had the nerve to insult Optimus after Optimus said, you have to shoot this arm off. And of course, Megatron, walking around kind of having a very optimistic for a Decepticon, but again, finding his arm and saying, you know what, Prime, you had all the power in the world, but you were just too weak to wield it. As he literally grafted his arm right back on himself and it's like, all right, I'm whole, let's go attack him.
But that's not the big thing. The big thing is the Decepticons just go immediately to the Ark with Bruticus and Devastator just go kill. But of
Yeah.
course, Devastator and Bruticus have to get into like two little brothers squabbling against each other until Megatron has to play mom. Goes like, "Do what I tell you, or I count to 3."
Pretty much.
Oh, and we kill an Autobot in this issue too.
Yeah, one of the
One of the aerial bots just immediately gets killed by Megatron.
it was almost Jazz-esque, wasn't it? Just we got to escape, and when you have to die.
Not only do they literally shoot him as an arm off Superion, but Megatron just like casually walks up to him and rips his head off.
Yeah, I mean, literally, just it's a sinister Megatron. I'll give him that, but considering all that he's been through, that does track. But yeah, all in all,
The best part is the best kicker about everything is Thundercracker and Skyboard.
Mm-hmm. That was messed up.
God, I love this series so much. A lot of people really aren't starting to like it because of the artwork. And I get that the artwork's a bit abstract a lot of times, but man, this story is so good.
But the weird part about it is the artwork actually fits the story. Because that's the thing I'm not understanding. I mean, not to go into a rant, but the artwork fits the comic. It's the design, the grittiness. I can see why they drew it that way, because what did you want? What did you want out of this? CGI?
Well, they're saying the art is trying to be so grim and dark, and the best you can do is edgy. It's like, read the book. It gets really dark at times.
Pretty much. Very much so. So I'm like,
oh, right, I forgot. The U.S. government's torturing Ultramagnus. We don't need to worry about that.
Nothing to see on that side though. Nothing to see on that side of the fence.
Yeah, nothing to see here. Move along. And that's all the books. Still recommend Imperial. Definitely recommend DC Pride. As Martok said, glory to you and your preferences. Read of this week, still Transformers. Like anytime Transformers comes out, it's read of the week. If it's not that, then it's usually Ultimate Spider-Man. If you've been listening to our podcast, if you've been listening to the podcast for a while.
Of course, not the Spider-Man from the Amazing Spider-Man, but that's a whole nother discussion of which.
Oh
Spider-Man.
yeah, we forgot to cover that. We'll cover that next week. Ultimate Incursion, where Miles goes to the new Ultimate Universe.
Yeah. Oh, that's during the God battle.
Yeah, we forgot to cover that.
During the Battle of the Gods, where we did.
No, this is a new thing.
Oh, okay. That's okay. That's
the new Ultimate Spider-Man, the 30-year-old Spider-Man, and his son.
Yeah, okay.
And I love like, oh, please, God, tell me you're not the new Venom. And then Ben's like, no, but I'm using that name now. Nope, too late. My name is now Venom.
Jesus. Well, thank you, Joe, for that. So with that being said, guys, as we wrap this up, a gentle reminder, if you do not know cosplayers or who's cosplaying what, first off, know the difference between Emma Frost and Storm. Because shout out to Little Chaos. She's like, how it felt being called Storm for 8 hours yesterday because I'm black. First off, that is a wonderful Emma Frost cosplay. I feel sorry for you that people called you Storm and just.
I bet I know why. It's the fishnets.
Still, I would have got Emma Frost because when's the last time you seen Storm in a corset?
1980s when she had fishnets.
Fair, but also with the cape and the X and the X as the brooch.
Yeah, the only difference is she doesn't have the mohawk, but everything else that could be 80s Storm.
It was just funny because she also had another tweet where she's taking a selfie. She's like guesting at a local convention today, and then the quote tweet like 2 hours later, I called Storm 80 times today. I fucking hate everybody.
I mean, I can see it, but again, folks, if you don't know, ask. But that being said, as we wrap this up, we usually let people know where we're at and what we're doing. So I will start with the man, the myth, the legend, Tafari, sir. Well, let people know what you're doing, where they can find you, sir.
Yeah, all platforms, same name. I finally have figured out or finished, like, I want to say a month's, if not close to a year's worth of edits for Blurred's Eye, Room Full of Blurreds, and myself. So we have the Boondocks cast, their panel is out, their press conference is out, Megan Thee Stallion's panel, Dominique Thorne's panel. We did do a reaction to the trailer with her in the room and the whole crowd, which I finished cutting up. For people that just wanted to see the cosplay contest or find out where that hat Megan was so interested is from. I have that being cut up, or that's done and ready to roll. Nolan North, who Whoopty and Navy got to chat with at MomoCon and is a very cool individual. Very talented voice actor. Nathan Drake, Deadpool, the whole 9 yards. His interview is out on Blurred's Eye now. We have Zaina Bear next week. This was her first con and her first press conference. This is a lot of firsts for her. So
nice.
Her press conference was cool. A lot of love in the room. A lot of encouragement since she's really new to these spaces. A lot of short stuff on my page just to keep you entertained until I come up with a longer idea. Streams will come back eventually. I haven't seen the sun in 2 weeks, so I need to finally finish packing, put away my new merchandise, and clean my room. Trying to get my hands on a Wii because I don't know, I have a real itch to want to stream some Wii games lately, and it also lets me work out without having to drag the treadmill in here. Another Goofy movie project is still out, as well as my rant on the evolving convention spaces. Those are out. Those have been received very well, so thank y'all for that. Please go check those out if you haven't already. First time doing anything in the realm of animation. My sister actually helped me with the storyboards. Other than that, probably gonna take a break next few days, and then maybe I'll start streaming again. But I am all around the internets.
All right, thank you for that, sir. Joe, want to let people know, sir? I know your birthday is kind of winding. The birthday celebration is kind of winding down, but still want to let people know where you at, sir, and where you'll be.
Well, first off, happy birthday to Sailor Ward, first black leader of the Power Rangers. Today is his birthday.
Happy birthday.
You can find me on either streaming on Joe Italian last name or at Twitch or over at Total Justice Gaming. We're picking back up on Mech Warrior on hard mode. We did do Onimusha as a charity stream. You can find the donation link to Middle Tennessee API in the description of all my videos now. It's just gonna stay there.
Nice.
So there's that. Other than that, I'll just be existing, or I'll be around Nashville doing stuff with Middle Tennessee API as stuff goes around. Look for me in the National Pride Parade. I'll be there assisting as an ally over with Middle Tennessee API. Say hi. It's about as comfortable as I get with people. Just say hi. Other than that, no, that's pretty much it. I'm just going back to work, meaning walking a lot and making my feet hurt.
Not the deep breath afterwards.
Well, because now I got to remember that my feet exist.
The deep breath afterwards have got me. It's like, in reality, I understand though.
I know. Other than that, I'll probably just be back in the gym again, like I have been, because my apartment complex has a gym, so it's nice.
Cool.
Other than that, no, I'm around. Hooray! Yay!
All right, sir. And again, definitely happy birthday. Again, sir, having your year 42 around the world. That also being said, before I do get to me, shameless plugging, as I usually say on here, do shout out first and foremost to Always Press Record. Why? Because our show and other shows like Blurred's Eye View is also available on Always Press Record. You can check out APR TV on the Roku app or Amazon Fire. Again, with our shows and other shows there, definitely give it the likes, the views that we should be giving, because these are avenues that are for us, made by us, for us to enjoy. And again, I want to take down Tubi. That is one of my main goals in life, is for Tubi to die a glorious death. Also, BlurStation.com. We have talked about this for almost going on a year and a half now. You still have time to jump on the train. $10.99 a month to stream Blur Station for its our movies, television, media, that type of thing. And also, guys, It helps support the cause to build a table to where our content, our viewership, most importantly, our dollars can go to. So definitely check out blurredstation.com. Please join up if you would like to. Select the Blurred's Eye View Affinity membership. Select myself, Tafari TV, or myself. Tafari TV or myself, Black Spartan, or anybody on there. And we would certainly appreciate that. As for myself, guys, I do want to point out that Give It Podcast does have a YouTube page, does have a Facebook page, has TikTok. Like, share, subscribe. We cannot do any of this without your support. So please pass it along, because people are finding the show. People are actually talking about the show, letting us know that they enjoy it. I cannot explain. I will sit there and say thank you. As for myself, Black_Spartan615 on the webs as well. You can follow me there. Just don't be weird. I don't have to get this whole thing of blocking people. That also being said, guys, with stuff going on, I will get back to streaming momentarily. I'm still finishing up, and I know I'm going to feel very old as I say this. I'm still finishing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I think I'm kind of near the end of that. I still want to go back and play the RoboCop game. I still want to start Monster Hunter Wilds. So there will be streaming going on very soon. Just have to get back to that because life be lifing. At the same time, I am taking I am doing a writing thing because I had this idea for a book that I hope will actually kind of open the doors to me writing. So hopefully we'll be able to share more of that because I'm not going to pull a George R. Romero and tell you that it's going to be that, I'm working on it. And then a decade later, I'm still working on it. It's not Game of Thrones. I'll tell you that much. I really do plan to have this story done within this year. Also, Tafari TV usually has videos of cons, how to prepare for cons, what to do at cons, what to do after a con. I just have 3 simple rules. Rule number 1, respect the cosplayer at all times. Cosplay is not consent. Please treat people like human beings. We are finding, and again, and this is not to point out women as cosplayers, but fellas, and I do mean fellas, please act like y'all got some goddamn sense. I understand that you think that it's cute to want to either hit on a cosplayer or flirt with a cosplayer. Here's my thing. If it's not being reciprocated, first and foremost, stop. Second of all, treat them like human beings. They are not out here for your pleasure. They are not out here for you to gawk at. They're not out here to fulfill whatever twisted fantasy you got. They're not here for that. It takes a lot of
answer to that.
Go for it.
They are not the character.
I'm sorry. But what Joe said, they're not the character. Simply put, it takes a lot of courage to not only put on a cosplay that you created or paid for, no matter what you did, it's yours. It takes a lot of courage to put on a cosplay. It takes a lot of courage to wear said cosplay out in public. It takes a lot of courage to be in a cosplay, especially when the cosplay is not weather appropriate. You have folks that are sitting in full wool suits in 100-degree weather, and all they want to do is be able to wear something that they're proud of because that's what they want to do. They are not there for your amusement. They are not there for your harassment. Simply put, be nice, or you'll get a guy like me that will love nothing more to introduce you to the curve using your teeth.
Well, not even that. Now that you got the Qs and the Sigmas and the Deltas showing up in mass, because what was it? I didn't even know that. I didn't know there was a whole thing with them and the sororities too. Because when Dominique was shouting out, what is it? I think she's a Delta Theta Diva. And then the dude started barking. She was like, "Big bros in the building." I was like, "Okay, so y'all have this is a sibling relationship y'all have." So God forbid you piss off an entire room full of frats.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is piss off a bunch of Qs. I'm just telling you that's not what you want to do. But again, going back to rule 1, respect cosplayers. Also, ask. Be polite and ask. Don't ever assume, and again, this is not to go into a rant because I'm hearing too many stories about this. Don't ever assume cosplayers will immediately take a picture with you or will become your personal model. That's not what they're there for. If you are nice to them, And I always say this, and I say this all the time. If you are nice to them, 8 times out of 10, you may get a picture. If you are nice, and 8 times out of 10, and if they tell you no, it is completely within their right. Again, they're not there for your amusement. They're not there to be your model. They're not there for you to, whatever twisted sick fantasy you have. If that's what you're intending to come to a con, do us all a favor and not come. Just go to a spot that has polls and bring money. That way you can get whatever twisted fantasy there, and then you can leave us alone. Second rule, please wash your ass. I can say that now because all my kids are asleep, and I can actually say that and not have to worry about my son being a tape recorder. I see more people bringing deodorant and stuff to a con. Guys, this is not cute because, again, if we have to start bringing deodorant and body wash and things of that nature to a con, some of y'all are not following the rule of making sure that you are daily bathing or putting on deodorant or clean clothes or things of that nature. Please, oh please. It's not that hard. At the same time, it's a hygiene factor. It's a health safety factor because diseases and stuff are still being spread around. Again, wash your ass. Not that hard. The third rule I have for myself is I have for everybody else. This world is cold. This world is cruel. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now that we don't want to bring up because this show is supposed to be positive and it's supposed to be distracting. But guys, be nice, be kind, talk, discuss, and share your fandoms. Don't be a dick, and we'll all be cool. And as we wrap this up, guys, I do want to stress very heavily, it is the weekend, and I find myself saying this a lot on this show because, again, it's the weekend. Please make smart decisions. Why? Because you will not see a judge if you are arrested and you go to holding. You won't see a judge till Tuesday. So make smart decisions. That's all I'm saying. You want to be happy or you want to go home? But with that being said, guys, we'll be back here next Get Bit time, saying Get Bit channel next Friday with news of the week along comic book pools. So again, hopefully, and I want to say is Father's Day Sunday?
Next Sunday, I believe. Is it this Sunday coming up?
That's, you know what? That's a good question. I don't know if Father's Day is I think it's, well, that's sad. It's sad that I should know it because I think I want to say next Sunday. Nope, I'm wrong. It is the 15th. So yes, also really quick, shout out to all fathers, uncles, stepfathers, father figures. Enjoy your Sunday because it is Father's Day. So definitely do enjoy it. Hopefully with your loved ones. Hopefully you are appreciated for all that you do. But that being said, fellas, any last words for you call tonight?
World is crazy. Stay in the house. If your deputies are out here making death row and hit videos, just drive like you're bored in GTA and trying to follow the rules.
That too. Also, for our other people of color right now who are being targeted, please be smart, be safe. Be smart, be safe, know the law, because right now it's a crazy time out there. Joe?
Just once, couldn't your attitude reflect the gravity of the situation? If I can help it.
That I should just kill that. Wow. With that being said, folks,
do you know how hard it was for me to find decent Hot Rodimus Prime tracks? Do you know how hard it is in Transformers Season 3 to find those?
The dedication that you have to this, sir, I lift my hat to you. If I was wearing one, I lift my hat to you. That being said, guys, thank you all for watching the Give It podcast. I've been Will. He's been Joe. He's also been Tafari, and Joe has always amazed me what he can find on Riff Tracks. Thank you all for watching, guys. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and I promise we'll get through this. Have a good, wonderful weekend. Happy Father's Day. Be nice, everybody. It's not that hard. Peace.